Hello, folks, and welcome back to our fun little experimental show here. We are so excited to be back for part two of the pilot of Weldport. I am, as I will be for the next several weeks, the keeper, DM Schmeier. And with me is, I'll start with you, Chloe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chloe. I'm going to be playing Edith this evening. Edith is a super senior college student who has had some fairly traumatic experience with magic in her life and just wishes it would go away. Will?
I'm Bill. I'm playing Michael Connor, a sort of hard-nosed private investigator with a somewhat mysterious past we're trying to discover something about now. So, Dan.
I am playing Rari Flynn, an acerbic and abrasive, brash person with a mysterious connection to Edith.
And I am the L, and I will be playing Rose, who has been thrown into all of this very suddenly.
And with that, we will do a very brief recap of last week in case anybody is popping in from for the first time.
Yep. So we began our journey with our heroes waking up with no memories in a mysterious manner on a mysterious island, having been brought there seemingly against their will for some nefarious purpose. After their lives are either placed in serious jeopardy or taken from them by a mysterious shadowy entity, they make a bargain with a mysterious being they meet in a place that seems like it might be between our world and the hereafter, but it's hard to tell. Or if they would recognize a fellow prisoner of the island, or rescue, not recognize. If they would rescue a fellow prisoner of the island, he would return them to the land of the living or the land of the waking as his agents for that purpose. So our heroes woke up, they explored and suffered terrors and fought their way through this mansion, overcome with some horrible dark doings that mutate corpses and people alike into horrifying monsters, eventually finding and rescuing and returning to consciousness Subject Zero, the original prisoner of this horrible place. But answers have to come this session, and they have to come quick, because upon his waking up, every monstrous entity on the entire island appears to have their kill shit radar turned right in our hero's direction, and stuff is about to get very, very real. Just a reminder real quick, folks, our points are still disabled. We have not yet figured out the optimal way to bring them back. We want to be able to allow you to use your points in a way that lets you participate meaningfully in our narrative. We have some ideas in the works, but I have not scripted this adventure to have much room for that kind of outside interference. So we're gonna go another week with them benched. But they are coming back, so save them.
And with that, welcome to Weldport. It's super weird here.
Love that catchphrase. All right. Where we last left our intrepid band of thrown together heroes, the situation did not look good. You have fought your way / snuck your way to the attic of this horrible place, this mansion come twisted mad science laboratory out of somebody's horrific nightmares. And you've accomplished, at least in part, your mission of making contact with and returning Subject Zero to consciousness. It appears, however, that you are about to find yourself under some serious siege from hundreds of these angry, monstrous, corpse-like enemies that you've encountered sparingly thus far, and you've got a new companion who appears very confused, very agitated, and that is the situation you find yourself in, folks.
We've broken the seal, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, for everybody who's just joining us, we're trapped in an attic while they come here.
We were trapped in an attic.
We're still trapped in the attic, Rose. Everything is down there and it wants to murder us.
The longer we wait here, the more of them come. Let's just get down as fast as we
It doesn't
can.
want to murder. They don't want to murder you. I should clarify that.
Who do they want to murder?
They don't want to murder any one of us. They want to assimilate us. They want to make us like them.
Let's get downstairs and keep moving. Try to find an exit where we can get free.
I need to do something before we go on an exit.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over and stand by the doorway with the axe. Not to hack anything, but trying to push things away with the handle because I
Also,
don't actually chop things.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
Who are you? We can't keep calling you Subject Zero.
We can't. Really.
No, it's weird.
Well, that's the magic trick, isn't it? I have no idea. That's what I was hoping to go find out. The people who brought me here, or the mage who did all this to me, he kept a room on the upper level of the West Wing where he kept his notes, more of his research. He didn't let, if I recall, all I remember is spots of dialogue, ramblings that made no sense. Him yelling at people yelling at him. No, one guy yelling at him, an older gentleman asking him to do more things to me to make it work. All I know is that if there are any answers into how I got here or who I was before I got here, they are in those notes in that archive. And I won't ask any of you guys to come with me. You're clearly victims of something awful, just like I am. But that's where I'm headed. And if you want to stay behind me, I'll fight my way through whatever's in between me and that, and you can make your exit. It's up to you.
I think we have a better chance altogether.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rari's gonna side eye over at Edith, eyebrow raised, looking
We're
for a
outvoted.
response. Who said this was a democracy?
Well, I'm not going off by myself.
You wouldn't be.
Rari, I think we should stay with the group.
Is that what we should do then?
Edith,
Yes.
I'll go with you. I feel like a group's a better idea.
We're wasting time.
Sir, do you have a name?
It's
I would imagine that I do. I just don't know it right now and have not had the time to check myself for tattoos.
Let's go with Stanley for right now. Do you have any objection to that?
Stan sounds distinguished, almost like an Ernest Hemingway character.
All right, that'll save time. Let's get moving.
Stan. I like Stan.
Let's do what you need to do, Stan.
Stan's a strong name. I like that. All right.
Was Ernest Hemingway the one from them comedy movies?
No,
Rory.
no.
But it is weird that he knows who Ernest Hemingway is.
You know, I know what a movie is, but I can't remember having seen one. All the more reason why I want to get a hand on who I am.
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll follow you, I guess.
I guess we will.
Leave the attic.
Yes, I guess that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
So
So
beware and on the lookout for big old bastard with a sword sticking out of his chest.
yeah. So about that, I can't tell you too much information about it because I don't have it. But I remember the dominant voice in my head saying something about how the strongest of these things will draw others to it and incorporate them into himself. So if you do see such a creature, please shout it out so I can kill it before it gets too big.
Oh, we might
before
have helped
gets-
it along.
Yeah. Well, if it gets big enough to become buoyant in the ocean, we're all in a lot of trouble.
Right,
All right.
right.
All right.
Big old ball of meat.
One moment. As you're descending the ladder from the attic, you see that the hallway that you had previously scampered up, that was for the most part untouched, looks like a bomb went off in it. Blood smears, gore smears, shattered stone vases, furniture. chips ripped from the wall, just like some horrible melee has occurred, and you lot weren't the priority. But sitting, writhing, broken, just on one end of the hallway, drilled into the wall by tremendous force, is one of the corpses that doesn't seem to stay down. It's writhing, swiping at the air with one healthy limb, and making some very, very weird noises the human throat really doesn't seem like it would be able to replicate.
Your hand do anything about that over there?
Almost certainly.
Worth your time?
Ladies, if you want to look away, this might get a little ugly. He raises his left hand, clenches it, and once again, the same shattered glass effect explodes across his skin, and he drives his fist down into the thing's head, which disintegrates into messy hamburger-like pulp. Rest in peace,
So
whoever you were.
Keep an eye out for the other arm.
You know, it's funny. I know how to use it, but I have no idea what it is. Hopefully more answers we can get. Let's hurry. His office isn't far. So you scurry through the hallway, and when you return to the central staircase overlooking the main ground floor entrance, you see sort of the same thing. Signs that a horrible mortal battle has occurred, way more blood and ichor than you remember the last time you carried through this place, but a shortage of bodies. And where there is the main door, large, heavy, wooden, that has been barricaded sometime well before we've been this way by various heavy items of furniture. There's even an armoire shoved up against it. You see that it is slowly being pushed on, and the barricade rattles. It's not great force yet, but there is something outside that is trying to get in, or some things.
We'll just keep going quietly.
They're after me. If any of them break in, catch up with us. I'll go one way, you all go the other way. Chances are the bulk of them will follow me. The ones that follow you, just hit them in the head.
Seeing as you're the only person who knows anything about this place, I don't really feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, are you gonna be okay? That sounds like a really bad plan.
Let's just keep moving. Get to what you need to get to.
Thank you, Mike.
I mean, it's right there through that door. And he points to a room just off of where the entrance to the west wing of this manor would be. Just a regular room, humble door. Looks like it might have even been a repurposed closet.
We just open it.
I'm gonna go touch the door.
Give me a second. I wouldn't put hands on it yet. He looks at it, studies it, and touches two fingers to the doorknob and explodes backwards as if hit by an electrical shock, hard enough to smash him through the railway of the stairs and throw him bodily onto the bloody, stained floor of the main hall. You even are pretty sure you hear a crunch.
Do I have a chance to try to catch him before he hits the...
Oh, no. That was way too sudden.
I'm gonna take one look at that, eyebrows raised for a second, and look inside of the room.
Rose is gonna go look to see if he's alive.
He is lying on the ground, his neck bent at a very odd angle.
I'm going to go down with Rose, make sure she's not by herself.
I'm going to stay in the middle.
Smart.
Well, hello then.
Suppose
you heard that one if you're home.
Rari, so all you would see is a really basic sort of office setup. It's a small room. There is an old hand-me-down, janky-looking desk shoved up against the far side, and just mountains and mountains of paper, folders, scrolls, maps, diagrams. This is clearly the space of a brilliant mind, but a brilliant mind that does not process information quite like you do or anyone you've ever met.
I think we might have found some records.
Is there any chance of this guy being alive? I go down, check for a pulse, check if he's breathing.
Oh, there's a pulse and there's breath. In fact, it's strong. It's hearty.
Stan, can you hear me? His neck is twisted unusually.
Oh, yeah. Not a good angle.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm going to try to distract and put it in the right angle.
Do you just want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Roll
They shouldn't
tough.
really do that.
Roll tough for no experience. You just roll what you roll.
Oof, 7.
So you get a hold of it, and the first thing you're surprised by, being that you're actually quite a strong dude in a very practical sense, is how much resistance you get when you start messing with it. Like that's unusual. It stands out to you that it should not be this hard to move a broken neck around, but with a grunt and a twist and your knowledge, hard won, of the human anatomy, you snap it back to the right place, and he takes a huge, wet, disgusting gasp. Ow!
Sorry about that. You all right now?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I knew something like that was coming. I just didn't expect the whammy to hit so hard.
All right. I try to help him up. Kind of,
Thank you. I appreciate
give him
that.
an arm. Walk him back up towards the door.
Oh, dang. Tender. That's going to hurt for days. Oh, pretty girl whose name I forgot. I'm so sorry. That must have been fairly ugly to witness.
My name is Rose, and that was horrifying. You're alive still? That's
Yeah,
not normal.
I'm a lot harder to kill than that. You guys put an axe in the head of my effigy a little while ago, if you remember.
No, I do. I'm just trying to process.
No, I get
I'm
it.
glad you're not dead, because that would not be good.
Something tells me you'd have to remove it for any of that to.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to clarify. It's okay.
I was just trying to be informative.
Nope, you're totally good. It's okay. You're doing great. I'm Edith.
Did I say something wrong?
She's
Go
gonna
over to Rose.
take your arm.
She's a young
Wait,
girl.
you taking my arm or his arm?
Edith's.
Okay.
Hey, if you're not bloody dead, I think we found some papers.
Excellent. Good work. Any other wards or anything I should worry about twisting my head the wrong direction?
Rory got his head in there, so I think you're fine.
Unless it reacts bad to that stuff.
It would
Kind
need
of
to
whisper to Stan, just in case you're not. I'm pretty sure Rory's not from this world. If I'm talking about, so the wards might not affect him. That could affect you. I don't know.
Oh, he's almost certainly not. I'm just worried about if they've got something laid down in that room strong enough to hurt him. We need to be very, very careful.
Well, Edith did not hear any of this, and she just walked into the room with Rory.
Yep.
Well, that settles that issue via the scientific method. Shall we go?
I'll see why not.
What are you looking for in here?
I'm looking for the oldest files or records he's got. Trust me, that'll point us in exactly the right direction I need to go in. Just
So like a
everybody to
scroll?
look. I have no idea. The oldest thing you can find that he wrote, if you can. You have a sample of his handwriting, right? You were talking about a pad earlier? Yeah.
Pad, yeah. See if we can figure out some sort of patterns of how things, if he has a date on anything, try to figure out how things are dated. If there's, top to bottom, if we just put the old stuff on bottom and start looking at the bottom.
Do you want to roll investigate for that, or do you just want to give it a shot?
I'll roll an investigate. I should be decent at that.
Go for it.
Rose is just gonna start digging through stuff and looking.
Edith,
8, so
I
9.
lent a hand last time and I did so. It didn't go so well, but I might be able to hurry up the process.
By just finding what we need?
I might be able to just find what we need.
Really?
Yeah, or it could go horribly wrong.
Well,
Let's-
how much time we have.
Are we
Just
talking about another spinal injury, or are we talking about like a nuclear explosion?
nope, we're good. We're good. We're just gonna look with our hands and our eyes.
Very good.
Rory.
Mike, so the thing you're able to identify as you're looking for a system is pretty clearly that there just isn't a system. But that stands out to you because a guy who has this many records, who clearly was performing something of that had a purpose in this place. It makes no sense that he wouldn't be able to find or locate his own notes or his own stuff. So you find the absence of any type of typical organizational system very, very conspicuous.
So is this even his office?
Yeah, it's his. This is where he killed me.
Is he hiding something in plain sight? I mean, my office is such a.
I don't remember anything about this place. I just knew where this room was. It's my last memory. It's my earliest memory. I was here and I was angry to be here, and then I was in pain, and then I was up there.
And we don't really know what we're looking for because you don't know if it's a book or a notepad or a scroll or a rock with sigils on it.
Might have been a motorcycle.
I feel
was
like
gonna say it's not good. Someone found the zombies found the motor pool. That's not good for
God,
us.
guys, I thought that was like somebody was playing a sound we were supposed to be paying attention to. And I was like so freaked out. I was like, if they sound like that, I quit. We're done.
It just goes to show, folks, you can't teach a zombie how to drive. He can't even get out of first gear.
I grab a scroll and take a look at it real quick. Do I recognize the handwriting? Does it look like modern handwriting or does it look old?
You recognize immediately by picking up anything that every piece of paper in this room was written by the same person. If you grab any random scroll, we'll just say you grab what appears to be the transcription of a complex alchemical formula, probably to be used in some sort of ritual.
I'm going to guess his notes aren't on a scroll. That seems to be things he uses for magical.
So are they written on the wall or on the floor or something?
It could be in files or books. Should we just start opening stuff and looking?
Rari, that's your name, right?
Why, that's me.
That spell you got. What does it take?
Oh, not too much. Just a few words. But sometimes, the spirits in the paper or the walls, they don't listen too well. And then it goes sideways. They're mischievous, the things.
I would like you to go for it if you're feeling willing.
I turn to Edith.
This is a
You'd
terrible
like me
idea.
to go for it if I'm feeling willing, Edith.
I know. Mike?
I think you and I and Rose should step outside and give it a shot.
All right, Rory, don't die.
Doing my best, love. Shall I roll an add weird?
And I just pull Rose out. Rose is like, what? Nope, just come out.
And add a +1 to your roll because Subject Zero places his right hand on your shoulder and you just feel like a static charge. You feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more grounded.
All right. I am trying to do a basic scan and scry for the things that stand out. And I roll a 6 and a 3 on the dice. So in total, with all bonuses considered, that's 13.
Yep. So you know immediately where what we're looking for is. And after a little shuffling around and toppling over certain piles, opening certain drawers, you retrieve a file, a book, and something that all of you recognize, the digital recorder that the man was speaking into before you paid your visit to the world beyond.
I think I've got something. I'd appreciate if somebody else carried it, because I'm already holding a book around.
Got it.
All right.
We don't have
also,
time to go ahead.
In case it's got like some summoning words or something on it. I'd leave it alone for now.
I don't actually think that there is. I don't think he expected anyone to get through whatever I triggered. In fact, I think I triggered it wrong. That hit really, really hard, and then it was just gone.
Do we think we've pissed him off?
Is he gonna come back?
Oh, almost certainly, but we're not going to be here.
Real quick, can we tell what the medium is for that digital recorder?
Probably looks like just your basic, like, cheap MP3 recorder you would buy from like a Best Buy circa 2013.
But is it store like on USB drives or?
SIM card, it looks like.
So it's not old.
I do a real quick check for see if there are any more SIM cards that store other data.
You find a small little like thimble like box in just the topmost drawer of his desk, really obvious, with like 5 of them.
I stuff those in my pocket.
Good call. So this is awkward, but would somebody who knows how to read take a look at the folder in the book?
You know about Ernest Hemingway, but you don't know how to. Oi.
File.
I can't explain how my brain is working right now, but it ain't working right.
Why don't you let Rory read it? He seems to have the most experience with this sort of thing.
I'll give Rory the book and give Edith the file. Who wants to take a look first?
I'll take a look. As he goes to look, thinking to himself, I do wish I knew who Ernest Hemingway was.
This is a hand-scribed grimoire. You know immediately by looking at it that that's what it is, and you would know, given that you know a thing or two about magic, how rare it is to come into contact with something like this. Most mages cobble together their grimoires, their spell books, their tomes from pieces of other people. It's a giant cribbing racket. They learn from their mentors, teachers, they steal from rivals, they plunder lost knowledge in hidden corners of the world and other places. To have somebody lay out his magical knowledge in such a fashion is extremely irregular, extremely overconfident, and fills you with a sense of foreboding because it means he's not afraid to lose literally any of the information in here. Roll weird.
Oh my god. 13 again.
Yeah. So you know your stuff, you know your magic, and what you notice is these are not basic component spells. The tricks and the rote incantations and rituals that dot the collections and journals of any number of mages and minor practitioners and witches drifting about out there. This is a meticulous documentation of rituals, very specific, very complex rituals. You can get sort of a sense of the components needed to put the first one you leaf through together. And you just know off the bat that there's no way that any random person, any random practitioner could replicate this. Putting it together would be hard enough, but the magical power, the muscle, the know-how, the control, and the strength of will to enact something like this, a summoning spell designed to tunnel right through the fabric of reality in a fashion more abrupt, blunt, and violent than any you can remember seeing. Well, it boggles the mind.
Suitably cowed for the moment, Rory grumbles to himself, understanding a bit more of the situation he's in, but also really quickly just kind of like through the book to try and find anything that might reference memory wiping or people in jars.
Rory, anything useful?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Well, I know that the bastard is out of my immediate league. No, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I spend a week with this thing, I'll catch him, no doubt. I'll be able to throw hellfire at him or something ridiculous, but
We're locking
We don't
it
have
in
a week
case
right
we get
now.
home.
he's pretty good at his craft.
Okay.
So as you flip through, you notice a bunch of really like esoteric, weird spells as you leaf through the middle. One, it looks like some kind of a tagging and identifying system designed to interface directly with a mage's like sensory inputs. Literally just the ability to keep track of things and tell them apart from din, crowd, and noise on instinct alone. And it looks like it's something that he maybe designed. As you get further towards the back of the book, though, you start noticing some interesting stuff. First, a binding ritual. A binding ritual that requires the type of components that are indicative of great wealth: gemstones, gold, and a precious metal that you know as orichalcum, which is a fairy metal that you are quite familiar with. And this binding spell, this binding ritual, is designed very, very particularly to capture something and place it under control. And it's a heavyweight. If you
Does
were
it
to employ
bear
this,
does
Go
it
ahead.
bear semblance to any of the structure or ritual that was in place upstairs?
You actually notice the sort of, let's say, magical handwriting, magical fingerprint, magical flourish in these spells that you've noticed on everything magical you've encountered thus far. And by signature, I don't just mean type of power and methodology. I mean this brute force, sadistic, almost cruel disregard for the laws of reality and physics. This is an individual who does not think twice about what the side effects of his spell are. And the thought occurs to you when you enacted your finding spell and thought to warn your companions that something bad might happen if it went wrong. Well, you don't imagine that this individual has ever given somebody else the same warning in his entire life, because the backlash potential in every single one of these that you leaf through is just incredible. And in fact, if you were to bind something, I got to give you all the information because you rolled a 13. If you were to bind something with this binding ritual that wasn't basically at the peak of the food chain in a way that you are quite familiar with, you'd destroy it.
I am simultaneously horrified and salivating. But coming away from it, I don't know if this is the kind of nonsense he's getting into. Could be he put something in your head, boy. Not sure.
The problem is, I think he took something out.
Well, that too, your sense and whatnot, but that wasn't there before, probably. At least I ain't seen nothing like it.
Yeah. And there's one more spell that you can suss out and actually like identify as what it does, given your high level of arcane knowledge you're bringing to bear on this. And that is how to describe it. It's difficult because it speaks in concept and metaphor, but you're familiar with those languages in a magical sense. And you notice that this is a spell to bisect the essence of something, to literally cleave its very soul into pieces and stitch it back together. And that's the end of that book.
So do we know what he was doing?
It'd take a bit to explain. But I think our pal Stan here might be in a few pieces.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there might have been two of them up there. I don't know. It's hard to get a read on it. Look, I can do more study in a thorough sense. I have a grasp of just about what everything in here is, but there's a certain nuance when you're dealing with books like this. I can't get it here. And I know we're in a hurry. I don't know if anything here tells me how to, I don't know, blow this place up in such a way that there won't be a giant inferno meat man rolling around and killing people.
We don't want that.
Yes, inferno meat man wasn't on my to-do list either.
Everybody roll cool and tell me what you get. Don't mark experience if you roll low. Just tell me what you get, everybody.
12.
Ooh, 14.
Oh, you're
Sorry,
gone,
Edith.
Bill.
I'm sorry, I was just scrolling down.
I got an 8.
Nine.
Okay. 1 second. We can do some math.
It's those zombies again.
It's actually, I'm determining how much time y'all got. And you've got plenty. Edith, you want to take a look at the folder?
Sure, quickly.
It's just a whole bunch of weird random papers, property listings, court records. You notice a couple of really odd identity background check printouts that you don't recognize the people in them. And finally, as you're just leafing through, you come to the final contents of the folder. One, it's a sheet of notebook paper filled with different phrases and time codes. And the final thing you discover is a driver's license with Subject Zero's face on it.
Oh. This is you.
Can I see?
With the name.
Thomas Hemwick, Seattle, Washington, born 1992. Why does none of that sound familiar?
Go waterfowl, eh?
Thomas is better than Stanley.
Is it? Well, I think
Is
I might
it?
know some Stanleys who would be upset.
I feel like Thomas is better.
May I look at the license, please?
Yeah, go ahead. What are you looking for?
See if it's real or not. See,
Oh, it's
I
real.
have some experience. Okay. This seems to be a genuine driver's license.
Fabulous, Thomas. Show us how to get out of here.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor real quick while I figure out what I'm doing? Can I see that with the time codes real quick?
Help yourself.
He looks.
I'll bet this goes to the tape recorder.
Oh, almost certainly. There's just something I'd like to hear. And he gives you a code to put in to the recorder. It's just a numerical code you can type into the keypad on its front. You can play it if you'd like. I'd like to hear it, and then I can focus on getting you out of here.
Here you go.
And with a tinny, gravelly echo, it starts to play. Thomas Hemwick Jr., parents deceased, siblings none, employment un, ties to the world none. Ideal Subject Zero. I've let the oaf know that I've identified his mark, and he seems relatively excited with it all, but by now the oaf and his entire grand crew are fascinated with dreams of gluttonous power, gorging themselves on fantasies of standing at the right hands of gods while they destroy and reshape the world in their image. Morons, the lot of them. By the time they realize what they've actually paid for, I'll be long gone. And old Thomas here will show me exactly what I need to know. You hear movement on the tape recorder as if he's walking through a room. Subject is lucid, but confused. Expected after his entire reality has been ripped away, shredded, as if by razor blades. It's becoming something of a specialty of mine, although most of them don't manage to put themselves together so sufficiently as to just be merely catatonic. My first experiment was on the butler. He just started stitching himself to various other corpses. I should go ahead and pass the pathogen on to him and see what he does with it. I'm wondering if he would incorporate all that new matter and make a nice little piece of art, possibly tear this place down behind me. Note to self, take a little injection out of old subject 0 here and go play with the unfortunate staff of this place. And as for you, Thomas, I'm going to see if I can pull the rest of it out of you. I'm going to see just what there is of the one in there. But if there's anything left of the sanity of the people who run this place, and they figure out that you're not going to be the one who delivers them to the gates of heaven, I wouldn't want to be you. Oh, poor kid. Next few weeks are going to suck for you. You hear a door open. What? Excuse me? I executed the calling. There should be no stragglers. Fine. Put them in the study. I'll deal with them here momentarily. And grab some hands. Some of the ones who aren't dead yet, if you would. Haul this gentleman up to the attic. Hook him up to the machine. See if we can't pull anything fun out of him. One last time. Leave a surprise for the Lord of the Manor. And the file ends.
Okay, can we leave now?
Yeah, I'd like to do that very much.
It sounds like he wasn't any fonder of you than he was of us.
I remember him cutting into me over and over and over again, but it never hurt. I just felt every single time like I had lost something.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm going to kill him.
Get in line. Ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
As you decide on your course of action, the main door just starts to splinter. You hear it. Something much heavier and much bigger has begun hitting it over and over and over and over again. And this time, it's not just mindless fumbling on the door. Something's trying to get in.
Is that our only way out?
Can't be.
I hope not.
Let me think.
Is there this is his study, right? Is there a secret exit out of his study?
Why are you asking me like I know?
You've been here before, and you remember Hemingway.
Yeah,
He was in
and
a
I was
chair.
being magically tortured.
He was in a chair.
I was being magically tortured. If I wasn't taking stock of exits and stuff, I was being subjected. You heard to the pathogen.
That's fine.
All right, look, these things are hard to bring down. I suggest we get a move on and look.
I'm with him.
I'm
All
going
right.
to look around.
Yeah, start feeling the wall.
Sorry, I'm looking for a window so I can see what we have to deal with below us.
There's one pretty much right outside, like just across the awning, up the stairs, like right outside the door. You can just walk through and see out front.
I'm gonna go take a look. See.
What you see makes you very, very queasy. It's essentially a giant millipede of people.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Is
Mostly
there?
flailing limbs. Some of them are on fire. Some of them don't look like ordinary limbs. It doesn't even look like it really has the strongest idea how to move. It just moves forward kind of on forward momentum of all that motion. But it's just throwing itself into the door over and over again. It just can't figure out a way to generate any real momentum. Its weight is doing most of the damage.
Is there a window on the rear of the house?
You don't
I
know,
can get
but
to.
almost certainly.
I'm trying to get to the other side of the house, see if we can find a window to look at.
Do the
Look
rest
through
of you
and
just
see.
let him go?
Well, no, we just follow him. I grab Rose. Rory, come on. And Thomas, you do whatever you want, but I think you should follow us.
Please stay with us.
Yeah. At least as long as I know that I'm able to hurt those things, I'll stay. Let's
be
get you guys off of this island, and then I'll go find a way to track down and have words with that psychopath who brought me here.
As
I
he's
think-
moving and trying to keep up the pace, Rory is going to be like, I don't suppose there's any way of turning that fist of yours into a bomb, take out whatever's left in here.
I'm not sure. All I know is that I feel like I should know the answer to that question. I feel like there is an answer to that question. I don't know it. Here, give me the paper again.
Or Edith did. I'm not sure
Yes.
which paper, but yeah.
Okay.
I didn't take it back. You have
He
it.
looks through, reads out a time code, punch that in.
Okay. Okay.
As you're moving, it plays again. Research log 77, the Hand of Fate, aka what the oaf and lord of the manor should have undertaken all this to obtain and didn't even know existed. The great corpulent fool. I lost the majority of the essence in the first transfusion process. Turns out it's exceptionally difficult to graft something of that power onto a mortal form. I'm lucky it didn't kill the boy, but all things considered, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. He's hardy. Managed to contain the hand onto his left arm, but that is useless to me. It might be reduced to such a form in which I can graft the rest of it off of him and onto me, but then I would have to infect myself with the pathogen. Not something I'm eager to do. Well, bully, I think I'm just going to have to declare that experiment a failure. Who knows, Tommy? Maybe that old left fist of yours can serve as yet another unfortunate surprise, another turd in this huge gormless tits punch bowl. That gives me some pleasure to think about. Click.
I am getting so tired of this man's way of speaking.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
All right, okay.
You
You got
hit a
fate
man
in
so
your
bad.
hand. I don't know if that means it's a bomb or not.
Well, so here's a question: What do you do with like your? Can you make a bomb with your magic? Can you like fire?
Oh, you know it'd be great, but I can't play with fire indoors.
He
Do you
cannot.
do you know how to do it? You can do that.
Yeah,
Like
I
you-
can do that. I can make fire real easy.
So could you show me how to do that? And maybe we could do it with what's in my left hand, and we could make a thingy.
Possibly. It's operating on completely separate principles, though. I don't know what sort of magic you're even using. I don't know if you can talk to your hand in the same way that I can talk to a paper. We
Can
can
you make
try it.
Can I mean, it seems like, I don't know, like you're his magical sponsor, Edith, I think it is.
Oh yeah, she knows everything about magic. Just real expert, this one.
Well, no, you're like his sponsor. He has to run everything by you, right?
That is how it has seemed to work. And this is the way we have stayed safe and under the radar until now.
Can
Edith,
he?
you have magic?
No, I do not, nor do I want it. Look at these people. None of them are happy.
I find that a rather rough assessment. I think my present reality has a great deal to bear on my happiness. I'm sure I'm a very pleasant, happy guy. So
Are you
all that
trying
is-
to? Are you asking her if I can make you some fire?
I'm asking if you can make like a magical bomb, and if I can play with it for a second.
Rory, can you play with fire looking like this?
Yeah, with the book.
Let's at least find a potential exit route before we start playing with a bomb.
Also, when we burned the other guy, didn't he just come back at us? So is a bomb actually going to work?
Don't know.
I mean, on those things, probably not, but it burned this place to the ground. And how many of those notes do you want some police detective finding someday?
Well, if we can get rid of everything that it might turn into a giant inferno meat man, I'm in favor of burning the place to the bloody ground.
Mike, do you not have a lighter of some kind on you?
Oh, it's not about that.
You said my pockets were empty?
Yeah. Oh, you don't have anything on you but the axe and the knives.
He's asking to see if I can make him something destructive and if he can operate using the same ideas. Or at least that's what I'm following.
I know very intuitively how to use my power. If you let me borrow your power, maybe we can mix the two and create something nice and nasty.
Can I make a bomb, Edith?
Fine.
See, this is the way that our relationship should have always been working.
I don't think you want to create a regular bomb.
No, I'm not gonna. Not like with a fuse on it, with a little black ball or anything.
You don't want to throw anything away. You want to suck everything into a single point and just have the whole house sucked into nothingness.
And please make sure there's a fuse.
Well, that's a good idea, actually, Mr. Mike. That's inspired. Here's the back of the house. As you've been kind of just winding your way through it, you've come to a room with a southward facing wall, and there are windows, and it goes no further. And then you can see out back, it's just grounds, just meticulously manscaped, frankly, kind of masturbatorily manscaped grounds. There's topiaries. There's a hedge maze. There's...
He means landscaped.
Yes, I do. I made a joke. That was actually intentional.
I felt like the first part was intentional and the second part was a slip.
Don't ask me what the topiaries are of.
I want to go.
I'm just assuming it's monsters, evil
that is,
flesh of
what we
some
do in the
kind.
shadows reference.
Yep.
My topiary garden.
I will attempt to create an implosive force.
How high up are we right now?
You're just a story up. Y'all can dive out the window if you want.
Okay. I try to look for a bush that's close to a window. We can jump onto the bush and try to,
And shouldn't we make the implosive bomb like on the ground floor? So like at the corner of the building or something?
I mean, I'm just trying to hold on to it right now. He's asking me to hand it to him.
I think I can make it stronger. I don't know anything about bombs.
Mike, shouldn't we do this on the first floor?
If we're going to try to get the whole house, we probably want it sort of the middle of the house. So having it being on the first floor, second floor wouldn't be a bad idea.
Do we have to go back where it was to the thing that was knocking?
Well, I mean, if we want to make sure we get the thing leveled in one go, otherwise we're just setting off cherry bombs in some dude's huge house.
All right. We'll do it down there.
So
Let's move.
what do we jump out the window, circle around to behind where this thing is, quietly, let the bomb go off there. Well, leave the bomb there with the fuse that you put in it, Rory, and then make our way away from it so we are not caught.
I think the problem is these things sense Thomas. They're going to follow him. We can't really sneak around behind them.
I actually think we can take advantage of that. I know this is probably a pretty stupid thing to suggest in the majority of contexts, but we have two objectives here. We need to bring this place down and begin leveling the playing field to prevent whatever happened here from getting out. But we also need to find a way out. I think Mike is right. When I woke up, they all started swarming this place, merging together. They only do that when they're trying to get stronger. I think they're here to kill me. So we give them what they want. Me, bomb expert, magic user, go to the ground floor, tempt the thing into the house, make sure it falls into the trap, break like hell to get out of here. You two girls, you go out the window, you start procuring a way off this place. I'm pretty sure there are boats. I just don't know where they are. I remember hearing them mention it.
All right, let's do it.
As long as I'm not with you, I don't think anything is going to be looking to make a priority and making a meal of you.
Okay.
We don't have anywhere to signal you where we are.
I mean,
If things work out well, we'll have plenty of time once the bomb goes off.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as that goes, if we do this correctly, you two are going to know when it goes off. It's going to be hard to miss.
All right.
Looks like your friend here is cooking up something pretty potent.
Which I have questions about, but that can wait.
Oh, Rose, darling, don't you worry your sweetheart. This was all just a terrible dream.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I am an ordinary
No.
exchange student,
Edith.
and you'll wake up in your own bed.
This is ridiculous.
You'd be surprised the powers of
You know what? No, we're going to go find a boat. And when we get off the island, Rari, you're telling me everything.
No, he's not. But we are going to go find a boat. So have fun, guys. Rory, don't die.
Rose,
You hear that, Rose? No, I'm not. All right, let's go blow them up then.
Rose, we get off this island, you find that boat, I'll tell you everything you need to know. Everything I know anyway. I know a lot.
Okay.
Except for how to read.
I'm working on it. Tuck and roll. Don't land with your legs straight. Let's go. Except how to read.
That was good.
Savage.
No, Brittany.
I move.
Just flaring daggers. Okay, so folks, who we going with first? We going with the bomb squad or the boat crew?
I feel like we should build to bomb squad.
Yeah, I feel like
All right.
we do.
So, ladies, you jump. And
Yep.
it's not that high, so you're fine.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Just
gonna
figure.
say hit the ground a little roughly. Probably throw like an end table through the window to make sure you don't have to deal with that nonsense and get cut. We'll just go ahead and say you did that, and you're out. You're on these grounds.
Right. Very quiet beeline for the shoreline.
Mhm.
Because if we just follow it around, there's bound to be a boat somewhere.
Okay.
Do you want to just make a run for the shoreline? Do you want to just pick a direction or?
Well, can I see which way the mainland is?
Oh no, you're too far off of it.
Wouldn't the boat be somewhere near the front entrance? Because wouldn't that be where they pull up? I mean, I don't want to go over there, but if I took a guess, I wouldn't want to walk very far if I was this rich.
To get to the direction that would take you back towards the front entrance, you need to go through the hedge maze. To go just as far away from the house as possible, you'd need to go through the topiary garden. And to go back across the south end of the house, you'd need to cling tightly to the house's perimeter. But you're going to have to go through something.
Well, I would vote clinging tightly to the house's perimeter instead of getting lost in a maze.
You can't get lost in a maze if you just keep your hand on one of the walls.
Yes, but it takes a real long time to do that.
It really does. So the walls of the house?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Quietly.
You guys start creeping your way across the house, just keeping to the perimeter until you can sort of loop around, I'm imagining, towards the front entrance. You're going a long way and around, if I understand that correctly. You notice as you're going along that when you looked out the window for the first time, like just to sort of examine these grounds, see where you were, there were a lot of bodies. And now you're not seeing any bodies, any at all.
This is great.
So yeah, it's probably not a positive development. But as you walk along, you don't actually run into too many surprises until you turn your first corner and you stumble upon what I guess you'd call it some sort of gazebo, but it's not on the outside of the house. It has no roof, just stone columns, a path leading into what you know would be probably the servant's entrance, if you're remembering the floor plan of the house correctly. And you're pretty sure you're staring at something very unique. This isn't standard rich person fare. Right now, though, it's just a circle of stone columns. You can't see what's in it.
That's terrifying and ominous. We're going to keep going.
Yep.
As you continue to walk and you pass this place, this location, it's almost like the air gets thinner and you smell ozone, like a pressure inside of your ears, like you're going up in altitude, like you're in a plane. And as you continue to push around it, just to try to push around it, you get the sense, just depending on where you step versus not, that something is messed up with space here.
So we can't go around. We have to go in through the stones. The circle of stones.
You can test it. You just know that trying to go around it is making you feel funny.
Are there stones on the ground?
There's outside of the pillars, there's like a stone path.
She's gonna pick up one. She's like, we could throw it before we go in. Then at least if it gets like electrocuted or something horrible, we get to see that happen first.
That is a great idea, Rose. I have my knife. And I think I also still have a chair leg.
Okay, and she'll heave it into the circle.
You notice as it passes the line of the stone columns, it's like gravity gets weaker. The stone just slows in its arc, starts to fall, and you notice ripples, almost as if it's moving through a thick liquid, just shuffling through space as it falls slowly to the ground. And it's just a small little stone off of a gravel path. But when you finally watch it sink to the bottom and settle, you actually hear it happen. Not as like a click clack, but as a low boom. And the ground itself ripples like the circle of a pond.
Does anything else happen around us or behind us, or?
You notice you're like in the way of the ripples. It's like space is rippling out. When they hit you, you're sort of tossed between feeling like, oh, I'm in normal air. Oh, I'm back in this weird sort of sensation. Oh, normal. Oh, weird.
I think we just try to push through it. Can you make it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can do this.
Okay.
Both of you roll weird.
Oh. I'm not going into the circle. I'm going back to the wall to try to push through it.
Okay, it's not bad. It was fine.
I got a 6.
I got a 7.
Rose, you realize as you start to push through this, well, you can really only describe, you're very intuitive, and you can sort of describe this space in your head as toxic. It's infected. Something here is wrong. It's not like pollution, but something deeper, something in the very fabric of just being around here that just makes you feel weird and sick and suffocated. But you regulate your breathing, you push through, you start making progress, even though you feel like you're moving through jello, even though you start to feel the sensation like your nose might start to bleed. But Edith, you experience something additional as you're pushing through, and that is memories that come to you unbidden. Memories of a very unfortunate time in your life very recently when your sister finally came home. And you remember fear and you remember terror. And it's not just memory, it's as if it's close to the surface. It's as if you're there again. And you feel blood begin to trickle down your nose, and you start to feel your limbs get heavier and heavier as you try to push through this miasma that surrounds these stones. Do you keep going?
Yeah, Rose, can I have a hand?
No, of course, and she'll reach out to you immediately.
Take 2 harm, mark unstable.
Okay.
And Rose will pull her a little bit along.
Yep. So you go ahead and roll cool, Rose. Tell me what you get.
Cool. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Awesome. So Edith, roll weird again and add a +1 to it this time.
7.
Is that the total with the +1?
Mhm.
So you're able to get the pain under control, the fear under control. You have a little bit of a harder time wrapping your brain around the fact that reality was just different for you than it really should have been in most of your experience. But you're able to put yourself together. And as you two push, you start to feel the effect get thinner and thinner, about 50 yards away from this circle. But as you move through it, you get an angle to see inside the circle of stones. And you see what can only be described as, and you both know from your educational background, an altar. And it hurts to look at. You look at it because it stands out. But when you look at it, it literally hurts, pain behind the eyes. And sitting around in schoolboy position, this altar are a bunch of black skeletons.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't look at it. It's fine. We're going home, and there's going to be tea, and Rory's going to come back, and then we're going to class tomorrow.
Yeah. Nope. Yep.
Go
Let's go. Let's just go.
As you loop around the side of the house to where you can see the front entrance, you kind of just catch Mr. Human Centipede crash through the door like a force of nature and scuttle into the house. But you're alone out here. There are no bodies or monsters, and you've got a straight shot to the coastline.
All right. There's nothing there. Break into like a low, crouchy run.
All right.
Me too.
Rose, do you follow her?
Yep.
Okay. And meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, we're with our 3 bomb squad. All right, Mike, how do we bring this place down?
Well, we're trying to bring it in. Just the biggest, I don't know what you call this, vacuum bomb you can think of, Rory. And just give us enough of a fuse to lay it out of here. We'll see what we can do.
We're thinking in terribly material terms, but I will see what I can rig up.
Rory, heat and force. Try to combine the two and compress it as small as you can. It's not going to be easy, but I felt your power. I think you can do this.
Now, as a slight mechanics question, is this going to have additional conditions on it as big magic, or will I be able to roll it as magic?
It does not have big magic on it yet. Right
Okay.
now, you're just going to be rolling rounds of weird to see what kind of progress you make in charging up this thing.
All right, sounds good. Should I roll now?
Yes, please.
Okay. First one works with a glitch.
Okay. I like that. So as far as you know, you're able to you focus your energy, calm your will, gather yourself, project your focus into the palms of your hands, make your gestures, and first a spark, and then that ripple through the air of force and heat. And the spark begins to grow as you begin to form this hyper-focused orb of flame. But it seems like it's going okay.
Hey, Rory, you got the right idea to have Rose just write this off as a psychotic episode. I think you should do the same thing with Edith. You need to let her live her life as normal. I could put them in touch with people who make them convince them that this wasn't real.
I may
Not to distract you while you're
not
casting your spell.
agree with you, but I could certainly use a few less words.
Just to help with the role playing, explain the die roll.
All right. Should I roll again? Should I continue to roll?
First, we need to figure out where we're going, and that's Mike's show. Where are we going?
So we're in the main hall right now.
Hmm.
I think if we can set it about here, can you float it in the air enough to have it, off the ground just a little bit and try to suck the whole house in?
It needs to be an implosion. It needs to have a fuse, and it needs to be floating off the ground. Yeah, sure.
Of those three,
fine.
fuse and implosion are the most two important. I'm assuming like there's a big chandelier or something. Place it about there if you can't hang it from that.
Yeah, that should work. I can reach it from up there. Can you put it up there?
Sure. I just got to find the right fabric to tie it to.
Roll.
All right. This one goes off without a hitch.
You focus, you breathe, and you find yourself, after focusing your will around it, in perfect control of where it goes. You can even elevate it if you'd like.
All right. I think it's working. Are you ready for the hot potato then?
Mike, if we detonate it here, it'll do its maximum amount of damage.
I think so. I've never built a black hole bomb before.
Well, I think.
I mean, magic doesn't always get you what you want, but think of it this way, gentlemen. Don't we kind of want this to go bad? Don't really care about what happens, right?
To a degree.
As long as it don't kill me.
Well, I suppose that we can't guarantee, right?
I think it's more important we destroy everything on the island than make sure we save ourselves.
So,
those two interests coincide, Mike.
Fuses. How do we do this? Well, I have an idea, actually.
What's that?
We don't just want to bring the house down, right? We want to make sure that everything in it goes down and stays dead.
Yes.
And in the immediate vicinity just outside as well.
All right. Well, this is probably the most reckless thing I've ever done, but then again, I can't remember most of my life. So,
yeah, for all of 20 minutes.
Yes, exactly. But I'm imagining this is up there. And he starts to look around the room. You can tell he's thinking something like, I think I know what to do here. I think I know what to do. And as you're just sort of gathering and getting yourselves together, the door explodes inward and you have company. This millipede of bodies and limbs can't quite fit through the door. It pushes and shoves and scrapes and tears off bits of itself as it surges forward. These bits fall to the ground and come together and assemble into what can only be described as flesh mannequins. No distinguishable features, just humanoid skin with spikes and claws for arms. And the creature rears up as best it can in this space that is now too small for it and starts spitting these flesh mannequins at you.
Mike!
I'm
I'm
trying
no
to
good
use,
right now.
I'm
Kick
trying to
its
use the
ass.
axe as a bat and just knock them away.
Real tough.
Come on. Oh, yes. That's a total of 7.
Well, so you the first one that gets to you, you get a great swing. You catch it like right with like an upward motion, almost like a golf swing, right under
I'm
what
using
I
the blunt
guess you'd
portion.
call its neck.
I'm not trying to chop. I'm trying to use the blunt portion to smack them.
Oh, trying to use the blunt portion to smack them. You hit it. You hit the first one. It goes flying backward. It does not expect any resistance. In fact, you get the impression that they maybe can't even see you. They're just moving forward on instinct, some sort of location. But after you get a good clobber, another one gets up on you, rakes its claw-like things along your ribs. You take 2 harm worth of damage before bringing the axe handle down and knocking that thing off its feet. And all the while, this giant writhing corpse worm is molting a veritable hit squad of these things. They're just not quite ready to go after y'all yet.
We're gonna need a shorter fuse.
Yeah. Can you two hold on for just a little bit?
Yeah.
Hold on to what?
Your lives as best you can.
I got an idea that you probably aren't going to like, Thomas.
What?
Once you set the fuse, if we chop off your infected arm and make a run for it, they might
Jesus, no, we
they
need
might
that.
attack your arm. If I'm wrong, it's just going to really mangle you badly.
I'm not going to
We need
lie. I
that
don't think
thing.
you're going to need to chop it off for what I've got in mind.
Okay.
Two of you just don't get hacked into little itty bitty pieces by these things. Just give me 1 second. And
Rory's gonna try to just kick things, I guess.
roll tough.
8.
You take 1 harm because one of them gets to you in some way, just like rakes its claws across your arm. But you give one a nice, good Sparta kick, knock him right back into the crowd.
All right.
Just blah.
I keep trying to keep him off of Dan so he can maintain his concentration as best he can.
Okay. You guys have already rolled tough, so you're knocking them back. You're taking little nicks, not like too bad as far as damage goes, but these things are relentless and they are swinging to kill. Luckily, they're not like skilled combatants, so you notice their swings are greatly televised and you're able to avoid anything terribly damaging. But when they mob you, you get blooded. But you manage to make a fighting retreat back towards the stairs, keeping them away. And now it's my turn to roll, and we'll see if this works. And it will in one way. We've got 2 hitches. Give me 1 second. Think about how I want to play this out. All right, I know what I'm going to do. So you extend your fighting retreat, getting pushed up the stairs, just trying to keep these things from swarming you. You both kind of know what you're doing, so you're able to do it, but you're hard pressed, and their numbers continue growing as this monstrous, horrible thing, half stuck in this entranceway, just is literally dividing itself to create an army of weird things to come after you. When, just as you reach the top of the stairs, you hear Thomas call out, "Now would be a good time to run." And you look up. He is standing on railing right next to where he was shot through when he tried to get into the office the first time and triggered the ward. He jumps at the chandelier and at this magical orb of destruction that Rari has conjured. His left fist cracks like glass, and he proceeds to bring it down in a Donkey Kong hammer fist on top of the orb, where 2 things happen. First, it changes color. It turns from a molten red and orange to a sickly black and green. And then it shrinks, and then it explodes. You have enough time to make a running retreat, pell-mell backwards, if you choose to do so, because the hitch in the spell casting does not trigger a perfect sort of suction, a perfect inward spiral black hole. But initially, it just starts as a massive exploding pillar of magical power directly upwards. It carries Thomas with him with it into the sky. He makes a ah, and then he's gone. The pillar starts to expand very, very rapidly, though. But you do notice the initial sort of flesh-like figures caught in it are they go to pieces pretty quick, as in crumble into dust.
I'm heading towards the closest exit. If it's a window, I'm throwing the axe through it first, try to break the glass as I run through. I'm trying to make sure Rory's. I'm going to give him a grab as I start to run, whichever way I see is the closest way to get out.
I just give kind of like a quick salute off up at the sky to where I just saw Tom run to, and then keep moving.
You guys get out fine. You conducted a successful fighting retreat, so you were close enough to an exit without taking any additional damage. So you jump out the closest window you can find, start running away from the house. I'm imagining, right? Unless you're stupefied.
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to figure out where a boat is.
Yeah, lumbering towards the shore looking for a boathouse.
As you leave, you notice this pillar of magical energy expand and expand and expand, taking with it more and more of the house. And Rari, for a moment, you start to have this sort of panicked sensation that whatever you two accidentally generated through your creative thinking here might be self-sustaining, and that's bad. But as it consumes and sucks up the entire house in this massive ascending cone of power, you notice on some other end of the house, it hits something that then immediately begins to siphon power from it. It's like the pillar expands and then hits a drain. At first, it's a perfectly equivalent exchange. The pillar isn't growing any bigger, but it's not growing any smaller. It just continues to hit this force in the air that seems to be leeching off of it. But slowly but surely, said force in the air leeches the spell, shrinking it, until this destructive arcane miracle you've wrought is just hoovered up into the ether.
And is the house
Gone
false?
To its foundations, like it's been burnt down in a wildfire.
I look about, and as I'm sitting there kind of in shock, having just had to cycle through the thought, well, I guess the entire world burning to death is better than the entire world getting flesh monstered. But looking about the devastation I've wrought, I kind of like look over at Mike and go, I imagine that was seen on the main line, but you figure we owe him a quick look around at least.
Yeah, let's at least make sure the foundation has everything else that could cause trouble. I try to find the axe. And
you kept it with you. You kept it on. You kept a hold of that sucker.
I'm gonna go check out the foundation, make sure there's nothing in there. Make sure there's not like a secret door to hell or something. I wouldn't be surprised to find anything here.
I'm looking. I don't know. Tom's made of weird magic. I figure it's not absolutely impossible that he lived. You know what? I currently am operating with a certain degree of more freedom than normal. I'd like to take a magical look about for Tom.
Go ahead.
Goes off without a hitch.
You know that he is somewhere on the complete other side of things on the ground. He got thrown clear, but
it exists.
yes, you saw the elevation him getting thrown clear got, and common sense would tell you that when he hit the ground, it was not pleasant.
You know, Mike, I think that the crazy bastard might actually, like, don't get me wrong, probably dead, but also I saw him get thrown like he was fired upon by one of them big old tanks, yeah. And who knows? I'm gonna check it out.
I put his neck back in place after it was broken, so he might still be alive.
All right,
Anything
let's check
interesting
it
about
out
the
then.
foundation?
So as you're poking around, Rar, are you going to join him, or is it just Mike?
I'm gonna let him do his thing. I'm looking for Tom.
Well, just hang on for a second, Rory. Why don't you stay up there? You don't need to come down here, but I'm only be here for a little bit to make sure there's nothing that's going to surprise us later.
You need me to watch your back then?
If you would, please.
I would please.
Right on. So go ahead and roll sharp.
8.
All right. As you sort of poke around, you notice in particular a sort of prominent pile of rubble that is not as utterly unmade in eldritch fashion as the rest of it. It's actually distinguishable as like a pile of rubble. And you go over to take a look because that triggers your weirdness instincts. Use your axe to sort of move it around. And you see, you can hardly believe it. It's one of the glass tubes from the attic. And
They're like
glass is spider webbed to all get out. But it is intact.
Was it the one that still had a thing?
Take a look.
These things are like 5 or 6 feet tall. Is that right? This is like a 5 or 6 foot tall thing of glass.
8.
All right.
Mike.
So I'm trying to
Which
brush through the
tube
rubble.
is that?
Can I see what's in there? Now there's some better light.
The glass is just destroyed like a shattered windshield. You can't make any detail out, but there is something in there.
Is the hatch open on top?
No, and it's beat to all get out too. You couldn't open it if you wanted to.
The one we opened, did you close the hatch back up, Rory?
Oh, I don't think it bothered.
Yes, I think this is the other one.
I think so too. And I don't know what Tom would have to say about that. I imagine he's nursing a pretty heavy case of all of his bones being broken.
He might have some advice for us when we go find him.
I don't know what we're gonna do with that thing. Can we haul it? Is it how heavy?
Tell me what you do right now.
I'm leaving it here for right now.
Okay.
Climb back out of the
walk
foundation.
away.
Yeah.
As you start putting distance between you and it, you hear a crack. You pause.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run, Mike.
Look back, and it explodes as something emerges from it as if it were a mad science glass womb. It hits the ground, but before you can even get a good look at it, determine its features, figure it out, it moves like an absolute lightning bolt away from you, gets clear of the foundation, and then just disappears into thin air.
Can I tell which direction it was heading?
West.
Is that the direction of the mainland?
It is not.
Okay.
It's off to.
What was the direction Rory was heading?
The direction Rory was. If the direction the girls were headed is south, I don't know where Rory's heading.
I was heading in the direction of Tom.
Yeah.
So you're headed south too. He's
okay.
He went flung in the direction of the ladies. He got trebucheted in the direction of the ladies. But you've just witnessed something escape. and you have no idea where it went. And that's our break.
All right.
We'll see y'all back
Yay.
here in about 10 minutes.
Bye,
In a
guys.
minute.
Bye.
You got this, Chloe.
Sorry, guys. Too much things are happening in
I
my.
just heard you in the background of DM going, sorry, guys.
No, it's gonna be more like 5 minutes, guys, not 10 minutes. 5 minutes. We'll see you soon. Be right back. And we're back.
Hello.
I'm impressed with everybody. It took you guys 10 minutes to completely flee like the story map that I had.
Oh,
I'm curious. I imagined blow up the place, get out as quick as we could was always the plan.
I did not even picture blowing up the place. I'm not.
I mean, we
gonna lie.
couldn't leave the meat men here. They were going to eat the planet.
when has this group not tried to burn something to the ground?
That's fair.
Unnecessarily destructive? That's not like us at all.
That's fair. And you know what was funny is while you're putting it together, while you all were putting it together, I was like, oh crap, how's this gonna work? Like, how can I put? And then, like, I'm thinking of the mechanics of this game. And it's like, oh no, they can do it. he's got the weird. He's got the magic. They can do it. So let's get on this roller coaster and see where it gets off.
Let's go, Rory. Maximum weirdo.
All right. So where we left before the break is while sifting through the rubble of their rather impressive impromptu arcane demolition job, our heroes realized that there was one survivor of the carnage, one of the mysterious subjects from the attic laboratory, who escaped and appeared to vanish into thin air on the other side of the house. And that's where we left off. Unless Rari and Mike are planning on investigating that, we're going to head back to the ladies.
Hey, Rory, did you see that?
No, I choose not to, Mike. I choose not to.
Bad news, good news. Good news is it doesn't appear to be following us.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We got some talking to do while we're trying to find Thomas.
Yeah. Would you like to do that talking on screen or off?
On screen. We get back to the girls first.
Yep. All right. So, ladies, you're making your sneaky, crouchy way towards the shore. And the closer you get, the clearer you can make out that there is sort of like a structure off of a dock. Looks like a pretty standard boathouse. You've seen them before. A lot of blue bloods have these on their private islands or in their private shorefront sort of estates. Also, you know that Felton University's rowing team has their own pier off of one of the beaches where they go to row crew, and it kind of looks a little bit something like this. So you're able to tell from your collegiate experiences that that's probably where you're headed. You get to the point where you're about 200 yards away from it when you hear a very, very loud boom, like hurts your ears, and you feel the pressure wave from it boom. And you see a pillar of green and black fire erupt from the mansion behind you, rapidly expand to consume the whole thing, and then be leached and slowly pulled into the space where you knew the circle of stones to be and the altar, until the spell is just no more, and neither is the mansion.
I think they made their bomb.
Yep.
All right, let's make sure that there's a boat. We're going to give them 5 minutes, and then we're going.
Okay, let's go.
Thud. You hear a loud plunk behind you.
I turn around.
So do I.
There's Thomas smoking in sort of a mini crater of his own gravitomically designed architecture, just lying in a heap. It's clear that he's been thrown clear of the blast.
I feel like this is going to be a pattern.
A pattern?
I mean, this is like the third time he's ended up just on his back.
That's,
The only other person I've seen do this much is like, I don't know.
Help me.
Frodo, Bella, let's go.
And she'll run down towards him.
When you arrive, you'll notice that, very, very little of his His clothing is intact, just enough of it to be tasteful for a TVMA audience on cable television. But the other very prominent thing you notice is up to about his elbow, his left arm is like charred black. It's just black. Looks either completely horrifically frostbitten or absolutely charred. You're worried if you touched it, it would crumble.
Okay. Well, we're not touching that, but we don't have.
Feeling for a pulse real quick. Just like, please don't be dead. Please don't be dead. Please don't be dead.
Oh, he's got one, but unlike the last time, he's hurt.
Okay. We could carry him together, right?
I don't know if that's a good idea. I think we should go find a boat and maybe bring the boat. Oh, maybe there's a little boat or a sail.
But we can't leave him here. He can't protect himself.
I think everything's gone. But yes, we can't leave him here. Stay here. I'll go find something for us to drag him to the boat.
Don't go far.
I mean, is this stupid? Should we just carry him? Everything's already broken.
Maybe we should try carrying him, and then if we can't, we'll do that.
All right. Sorry. I don't like this. I don't like this situation. I don't like the pressure. Thomas, can you hear us? Okay.
Okay.
This is going to hurt.
I'm sorry.
But I'm pretty sure if you survived a broken neck, this'll be okay. I know the bugs are bad.
It's just terrible in here.
All right. I'll get under this arm and his shoulder, and if you want to get under the other arm, and
No, I can.
Oh, watch the ribs! Watch the ribs! Watch the ribs!
It's just gonna hurt. It's just gonna hurt, buddy. Breathe through it.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. How about y'all stop touching me and just give me a second to catch my breath? I'm good.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna go. You can put me down now.
I put you down. I put you down.
Oh God. Oh, how come everything you do hurts?
We're doing our
Not you. You're fine. Her, the abrasive one with the temper. Oh.
Okay, fine. You can stay here by yourself and fend yourself, and I'm gonna go find a boat.
No.
Yes, no, we're going. We're gonna go find a boat, and Mr. Thomas here.
I'm sorry. I'm a little irritated because my ribs are shattered like crockery inside of me. And when I breathe, it makes a whistling sound that I'm pretty sure is not anatomically ideal. I'm sorry.
However, you can now speak, and you couldn't 30 seconds ago, so you are rapidly healing.
I hope so. I just remember my bell being rung, and then you moved me, and it hurt. Oh.
We're just kind of new at this. This is my first time, rescuing a person, so...
You're doing fantastic. You're wandering through this hellscape, and you haven't bitten anyone's head off yet.
Well, it's because I have Edith. She really helps me stay calm. So...
I think it's the opposite, but that's just my observation.
All right.
There's a boathouse.
Are you sitting up? Is that what I'm seeing? Are you sitting up?
Yeah, he's trying to stand, but he is struggling. He is jacked up.
Great.
You could lean on us. We can help.
Yeah, I'll do that a little bit, but only a little bit. I want to slow you down. Oh man.
We already literally stopped to pick you up. It's fine.
Did you guys see that? That was pretty cool, right?
That was very effective.
Something.
Yeah. I was the fuse. I clearly didn't think that part all the way through.
Okay. That's the most reckless thing I think I've heard all day, and Rari's been talking a lot. So we'll come back to it, but let's get to a boat now.
Shouldn't we make sure that those two got out of the blast okay?
They're adults. They can come find us. We have to go get a boat.
That's kind of cold. Isn't Rari your friend?
We're not leaving him. We're supposed to find the boat. That is literally our job right now. Find a boat so we can get off the island. I'm going to go find a boat. If you two want to sit here and discuss whether that's a smart thing or not, that's fine.
No, I'm coming.
Well, then come.
You are a very angry lady.
I'm not angry. I woke up in the middle of a freaking haunted mansion. It's finals week. I would like to go home. This is terrible, and I don't actually want to talk about it anymore. I just want to get on a boat and go home. We effectively demolished the thing, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. This is great. It's great news, but we need to leave.
All of that is fair. I withdraw my criticism and accede to follow you wherever you're looking to stop.
He just walks out. I'm not listening. I'm not stopping
him. She's like, if it helps, Mike is a creepy stalker, so he'll find us again.
I feel like I missed a great deal of critical backstory in this group dynamic. He seems like a nice guy to me.
Well, he's a professional stalker, so I don't know if we can add creepy, but professional, I think someone else might be the creep.
I felt like it was creepy.
Well, all of you saved my bacon, so I'm grateful and inclined to look at each one of you very charitably, including Miss Rattlesnake over here yelling at me every 5 minutes.
Again, her name's Edith. I would start with being nicer to her.
Edith. You're a very, very mean lady, Edith, but I appreciate your savagery.
Okay, it's fine. Let's go. The boat.
All right.
I'm walking. I'm not listening.
She's already gone.
You called me lady. I'm just like, no.
I've been beaten up twice today. I don't need the emotional battering.
I didn't say anything. I just walked off.
No. All right, we're going back to the guys.
So, Rory.
Michael.
I'll admit I don't know exactly what you are, but I get a pretty good idea. I don't know if, Edith found your pot of gold or
my
whatever.
Pot of gold.
You're a little tall for a leprechaun, but I
Look, Mike, I don't know what you think you know, but whatever you're doing, first of all, you're out of your depth. Second of all, I'm just a man.
You're not a man. We both know that. Let's not.
I'm just a man who knows more than our eyes are seeing looking about things.
I know.
Now, because I've been around a bit longer to see him. And I've been with many people. I've known a lot of things. And I've done a lot of violence here or there against the laws of reality. Can we not leave it at that?
Not really, because you know what this kind of stuff draws people into. And I don't think
Do I know?
Do
I know what things like this? What things like this? I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Well, I have.
You seen something like this house?
Something, not this house, but I've seen some tough stuff like this. I don't want Edith or Rose to have any more experiences like this. I think it'd be best if you just
says the man who's been staking out our place.
Because I thought they might have been involved in something like this. Now that I know they're not, I want to get them out. So
I think
whatever you could do to release Edith or have her release you, and you go on your own merry way, I think it'd be best.
Mike, I think you should learn. And I say this with all due politeness for someone who I'm aware has probably just saved my life as much as I saved theirs. To stay in your goddamn lane.
I am in my lane.
Then stay out of mine.
I owe a debt to Edith's father.
Edith's father, you say?
Yes.
And what might that debt be? If we're, sharing and getting all cuddly with each other.
My life.
Huh.
He saved my life and the life of some others. I don't want his daughter getting messed up in this sort of stuff. I do this for a living. She shouldn't have to.
You say this sort of stuff like it's all the same. What I do with my books, what Tom was doing with his hand, what that bastard who had us all imprisoned, was doing to all of us, what that god gentleman was doing in the forest. And there's a multiplicity here I don't think you're aware of. There's a lot of this to go around. There's a whole lot more this than there actually is this.
But Rose and Edith can stay in the world they've known their whole lives and just live a normal life and be free of danger. And that's what would be best. Tell me you don't think that's what would be best for them.
I didn't decide this.
But can you help her get out of it? Sounds to me like you'd like to find someone more fun to be in service to anyway.
In service? Even the way you say it has a bad taste in my mouth.
How do you prefer to describe it?
Edith's who I'm following right now. Anything more than that, you can talk to her.
All right. As you guys are walking, you've closed distance to the point where you can see sort of Edith storming ahead and getting very, very close to what is very obviously a boathouse off of a small pier on the shore. And you see Thomas being aided very gingerly by Rose, sort of limping along behind her. You're catching up to them very quickly.
Rose, Edith, Thomas.
Hey.
Thomas, you okay?
Yeah, everything kind of hurts, but I think if we're talking about okay as a spectrum, I'm good.
I think the fact that you're alive at all, I can't even hear. Edith's so far away I can barely hear her.
She's coming back.
Oh, no!
she went in the
She
boat.
disappeared! The dark magic, it's returned! It's got her.
Edith quit. She's out.
I can tell you.
That's a curveball. Twister.
The game is full of history.
I said he's sassy. He's fine. I think we found a boat.
She's just very angry.
He looks a bit well done then.
Yeah. I had that idea and did not think it through very much. I'm glad it worked, I guess.
Yeah, there's
Well,
kind of
what else we've managed to figure out is that, I don't know, if we need to, derail a train or something, you do just fine. I don't think I could come up with a lot more thorough ways to try and kill you than that. So, congratulations for outliving us all.
There's
Yeah.
a little bit of good news, bad news.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we should talk about that.
What's the bad news?
Yeah.
That remember the 2 glass tubes in the attic we found, and the one that had the creepy looking thing in it that apparently survived the implosion
What?
and escaped.
What?
Oh, yeah, he was real scary.
Your,
Just rushed
maybe
right
your
past
your
us.
id or whatever, some part of you.
Thomas stands up, stops leaning on Rose, clutches his ribs, but gathers himself and stays on his feet.
I'm calling it Bad Tom in my head. Bad Tom? Are we all on board with that
You
one?
said that thing escaped. Where did it escape to?
West. It
Go
left the perimeter of the foundation, just seemed to disappear.
I'm going to get it.
Wait,
You can barely move.
I couldn't see it as soon as it left the threshold of the compound.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
Move
How did it
faster than I
survive
could.
what we did to it?
The glass tube
Tube itself
was,
survived.
it was badly damaged, but it seemed to be the one thing that survived.
Rory, can you do your find people thing.
the more times we do this, the more likely it is that one of you is just gonna randomly turn into a fern or something. But yeah, I can try and find it.
I don't want to be a fern.
She don't want to be a fern, Rose.
Could you maybe point the fern somewhere else? Could you maybe like find a raccoon that could be the fern?
Maybe if we're lucky. Or am I trying to find Bad Tom then?
Yeah, because we're not supposed to let that thing go, right?
All right. I'm asking you to remember one thing. Do you remember how we met Crazy Meat Boy? That was because I went a looking.
Mm-hmm.
If I do this less than, my top 15%, he might be able to see back.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If we don't get him, what if that king calls us back and is like, sorry, you're all dead now?
I mean, I don't know, but for the record, like, we should probably leave. I think that even the mainlanders probably saw that.
I don't think we're supposed to let anything live.
I don't either, but do we think it's still on this island? It was moving like, I don't know, the water wasn't going to slow it down that much.
Folks, I hate to drop this card, but while we're just sort of dealing with things, frankly, my every instinct tells me that I should go make sure that thing dies. But look at me. I can't kill it right now. And I'm not sure the rest of us can either. We don't have any equipment. We don't have any tools. We're gonna ask Rari to throw another big magic whammy at something. We don't even know how drained he is from the last one. We're gonna ask Mike to take on an unknown monster with an axe.
It's also
regular Tom.
It's heading away from the shore.
I think for now we need to just regroup. I need to shake off some of what just happened to me, and then I can go after it. It won't be your problem.
Also, given time in a safe environment, I may be able to track it a little easier.
And there's that. No fern.
Less
I
fern.
want to be a fern.
Only much smaller chance of fern.
I was already like some very, very weird creature today, and I'd really rather not be a plant.
No, you did the best anyone could have possibly done in this situation, regular Tom, and I owe you a point.
You're very constructive, and I appreciate that positive feedback because I have not been getting much of it the last 5 minutes.
This one's just my favorite, Edith. Let's take him along, eh? And maybe on the way there, if last time's any indication, maybe you'll have all your parts in the same place by the time we get back to shore.
You did promise to tell me everything.
I did not promise to tell you everything.
Thomas
Literally
did.
zero promises were. Oh yeah, Thomas. Yeah.
Thomas? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find a boat and some life jackets. Maybe extra fuel.
I could probably use a life jacket on account of I have one arm. Well, that's a good idea.
What kind of boats are in the boathouse?
I'm going to take Thomas aside really quick.
Okay.
Grab him by his bad arm.
What are you?
A little bit rougher than necessary.
Actually, do you grab him by his bad arm?
Yes.
It hurts.
Me?
The moment you touch it, you feel like you have touched a live electrical circuit.
Okay.
Edith, you all right?
What?
Nobody touch his arm. I'm going to take him from the other side and push him over to where Rose can't hear.
What are you blaming me for this time?
I'm not blaming you for anything. All I'm saying is that Rose has a future and a bright, sunny disposition, and she believes that things are still good and that life can work out and that everything works together for a great ending and whatnot, and you are not going to tell her everything because you will ruin that. Nobody has that.
All right. So you might not be able to tell, but I actually respect you quite a bit. You haven't melted down, you haven't run in the face of danger, and you haven't made any transparently idiotic errors of judgment since I've met you. So I'm going to just be frank with you. Is that all right?
Please.
She already knows everything she needs to know, Edith. All that's left is clarity. You leave her without answers. You leave her with these nightmares. You leave her with this trauma. You leave her with questions like the kind swarming through my mind right now. And she's going to go looking for answers. Would you rather she do that with you and your fireball throwing red haired friend and possibly the crucifix wielding axe man over there who knows how to demolish buildings? Or would you rather she do it alone?
I would send Rory to watch out for her, and she would be fine. We would bumper rail that thing.
Do you see what happened here today?
Yeah, no one had any control of this, but she's not actually. I guess she's connected because I care about her. God darn it!
Your pet, or a friend, or whatever the hell Rory is to you that allows you to tell him when he can or cannot defend himself. He's good. He's strong. Did he protect either of you from what happened here today? Do you think it's because he didn't try, or do you think it's because he couldn't?
We will return to this conversation, but you are not telling her everything.
All due respect, I don't answer to you. I promised her information in exchange for her help.
My impending offer of a couch is revoked. We are getting back to the mainland, and you can find some place to stay on your own, Mr. I have no family or friends and was kidnapped and no one even knows I'm gone.
Does it make you feel better to just throw out insults like punches, try to hurt the people who are around you, trying to help you get what you want? All I've done since I've woken up, despite the fact that I'm incredibly confused, I'm actually scared out of my wits. I know things I can't explain, and I don't know other things I should. What do you think is going on inside my head right now? Do you think I'm having a fun afternoon? Do you think I'm having a good evening? I'm not.
I think that you should go with Mike and find out what happened. We're going to go finish the semester.
You can't run from this, Edith.
I just turn around and walk away.
It'll find you. And he just follows.
Is everything okay?
We're good. He has been hit in the head a lot. A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been hit in the head a lot.
We were waiting for you.
Sorry. I wasn't.
I'm looking for a boat.
Rose was standing waiting for Edith to come back.
So while that's happening, then that's fine. We can play this. So, Mike, you come to the realization relatively quickly that the boathouse is locked.
I got an axe.
Is that what you do?
I don't care. I mean, I'm done playing around.
So you start swinging at the door. You chop it down. On about the third or fourth swing, when you've got a significant amount of the door just hacked out of the way, you look up from your labors and find yourself staring very obviously at the barrel of a gun.
Howdy.
Who's there?
My name's Frank.
So
I'm a plumber. I don't know how I got here on this island.
I'm going to need you to come up with a better lie there, Frank.
Okay,
we've been being chased.
We've been being chased by zombies. How's that?
You work for me?
Not that I know of. Who are you? What kind of gun? How close is this gun?
It's probably, you can tell it's probably like a shotgun of some kind. It's a long barrel, iron, double.
How close is the barrel to me?
Not close enough for you to grab at it. But after you talk to him a little bit, he opens the door for you.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Mr. Roderick. That is all you need to know. Come in, come in. I'm incredibly surprised to see fellow survivors. All of you come in.
Okay.
How close
friend
can I get
over
to
there?
him calmly? How close can I get to him? Is he still pointing the gun right at me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you enter the boathouse,
I set the axe down as I walk in. Have my hands up where you can see him.
no offense there, sir. I just need to know you're not one of them and carrying that in here with you.
Oh, no. So do you work here on this island?
Do I work here on this? You get a look at him as he says it. I assume y'all are coming into the boathouse?
Yes, as we do so, I do have a quick question, Keeper.
Go ahead.
Now, I know I was like using my hands for stuff, and we had grabbed a bunch of documents and did not specify that we had grabbed like a bag or something. Or did, in your opinion, did we drop those documents and things, or keep only the ones that could be in pockets, or do we have all of the stuff we wanted?
The answer to did you drop them and lose them would be yes, unless you want to spend a luck to say that you didn't.
Do I want the super spell book that has all of the darkest magic that I can't possibly even fathom? Yes, I will spend my luck to get that. Thank you.
You found a satchel, and you sound mark off a point of luck. You found a satchel in the office. You shoved all the documents that you wanted to take into that.
Back down to 0. And yes, I do follow in there, and just kind of like allow this conversation to take place, because Rory's been shoving himself to the forefronts of social things where he's not at his best.
And I'm keeping myself between the shotgun and everybody else, at least between the shotgun, between myself and the girls.
Well, and I am specifically hanging out kind of in front of Edith in that case too. Yeah.
You see something very, very unexpected when you take in this man in this boathouse. He is a remarkably well-fed older gentleman who carries himself with a bearing like he owns the earth upon which he struts. He is dressed in just this weird, filthy, almost graduation gown type thing. And the gun he's got is like it's a skeet shooter. It's a double barrel skeet shooter. It's not even a personal defense firearm. It would do damage if you took a blast of that buckshot point blank, but it's not like it's even a hardcore weapon. It's what he had on hand pretty clearly.
And knowing what I know of shotguns, it's probably not loaded with buckshot. It's probably loaded with like number 9 bird shot or something.
Yeah, it ain't gonna take you out with one shot for sure.
Yeah. So, Mr. Roderick, is that what you said your name is?
Yes.
I'm gonna walk closer. I keep trying to walk closer as I'm talking to him. How exactly did you get here?
How did I get here? I own here.
Oh, this is yours?
Yes, this is mine before it all went to hell. You try waking up one morning to find your ancestral holdings overrun with the bodies of the people who worked for you. I've had a rough day.
I'm sorry. This happened all in one day?
Has it been? It's hard to keep track of time. I've tried to keep my head down. I've tried to avoid looking at windows. I've tried to avoid making noises. They seek you out, you see, and when they get after you and they get their hands on you, they get under your skin, and they're not supposed to do that. That wasn't how it was supposed to work. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. Now, tell me, who do you work for? Are you household staff, or are you with the that incompetent jackass who brought down my home?
I think Seems to be we were
If you
kidnapped
mean
by
in a
that
literal sense.
jackass who took down your home.
You, young women, speak. I don't trust
hold on
rough-looking
now.
individuals. I don't trust rough-looking individuals prepared to twist my head off the neck.
How close am I to him
very
now
much.
with a shotgun?
You're getting there. You're probably not in an ideal place to make a grab, but you're maybe a step or two away.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay.
I literally I could do that. Not alone, Mike.
Yeah, I hear you. You want to go for it?
Yeah.
Roll it. Tough.
Okay.
We'll kick some ass.
Oh no! I'm gonna use luck point because I just rolled that was a 6 total with my +2 on luck.
Yeah,
Or
that
plus
would have
one
hurt, but that's fine. That's an automatic success. Then you take it from him.
Okay, I snatch it from him, and then
I say that's uncivilized.
Holy shit, Mike, that was cool.
I bash him in the face with the butt end of it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So you're the one Jason referred to as the oaf, I assume. You're the one who paid for all this. You're the one who brought this all upon us.
well, in my defense, you damn savage, it wasn't supposed to work this way.
How was it supposed to work? How many innocent people were supposed to die?
Nobody who didn't want to.
Were a lot of people wanting to die then?
Who are you? What do or don't you know?
We're subject.
I butt struck across the other side of the head.
Oh my god.
Ow!
You know, we're gonna need that head if you want to actually hear anything he
Don't
has to
ask
say.
another question. We'll ask all the questions. Do you understand?
Fine.
What's your full name?
Edgar Percival Roderick.
Could someone write that down, please?
Yeah, with their non-existent pens.
Well, we have
Yes.
we have notes and stuff. I'm taking notes
Also,
myself.
We could
you as
record it.
players can
For the-
write
yeah,
it
for
down
the-
and remember it.
All right. So, what did you hire this Jason fellow to do? This is who you hired, correct? I know Aiden's brother's name. Is it Jason or is it?
It
It's
is
Jason.
Jason. But he'd be
Okay.
like, "Is that his name?" He didn't give me a name.
How did you meet him?
I put out feelers.
Oh,
I needed somebody who knew what he was doing, and he responded. He said he found my ambitions to be interesting and wanted to get involved. I
and
think
you
you
wanted.
broke my nose.
Oh, you're probably gonna have a lot worse than that here in a little bit. So, you hired him to do what exactly?
My father started a group, if you will, a social club with one objective: to see if we could improve upon the human form. Because once you see what else is out there and you realize that we're just a bunch of balloons filled with hamburger meat that can be squished with a poke of a pin, you start to wonder if maybe finite existence isn't all we can earn for ourselves.
You've literally never read a single book, have you?
Not of the types that you're studying, clearly. My books contain magic, the secrets of the universe. Did you know it's real? Were you aware? Were you aware that hocus pocus is in fact a thing that actually occurs out in the wild?
Mike, hit him again.
I'd grab the axe and just take it to his knee with a blunt end.
Oh,
I was like, oh my god.
I didn't mean that hard.
Oh, the blunt. I take the blunt end, the side of his knee, just to.
Oh, how dare you? It hurts. It hurts so badly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. That's a lie. I shouldn't lie.
While this is all going on, Rory just kind of starts looking around for a boat.
There's one, and it's actually pretty obvious that he's been making it ready.
Oh, you know, I think Ed Percy kind of had this one set to go. Maybe we could talk to him more on the boat.
I never would have left you. I didn't know there was anyone who escaped the trap.
The
What
trap?
I hired the wizard to do one thing, and he did another.
Well,
You hired him to explore ways to improve the human condition? You didn't think anything this black magic you might unleash?
My father, in the last days of his life, came into possession of a book that, as far as I could tell, had no copy. It was on its own, a unique, rare piece. We collected such things. It's the staple of our trade, the source of our fortune, antiquities from old world civilizations that most people don't study because they don't know that they exist. And in this book was a ritual spell. You know, one of those things where you craft an altar and you bring valuables and magical components and you cast for days and you bring supplicants and aspirants and you say prayers and you sing songs, and then when it's over, everything is different.
Because
And
you convince them all to kill themselves.
not kill themselves, young lady. Ascend to something new.
I'm pretty sure that's what every cult leader ever says.
Well,
There's
to be fair, like the jewels and the supplicants and the altar and stuff, like, you know, you'd put enough of that and you do get a better result usually.
Can we get on the boat to discuss this?
So
I don't know that we should bring this guy with us.
We can't.
I mean, he's just gonna be here lying around with a lot of answers for the cops. You know, I'd rather we all, I don't know, whatever.
do you lot not work for him? Were you not part of what he wrought here?
No.
We
Well, I mean,
were
part of what you
unwillingly.
wrought in like the rotted term, we got rot.
He summoned something. It was supposed to work fine, grand. You call it a cult. These are my friends. I would no sooner have wanted to bury them than I wanted to bury my own father when his time came. This was our life's work, our ambition. We had no idea if we would ever succeed.
Don't worry, you don't have to bury anyone now.
He came and he said he could do it. And he did it. But there were casualties. The ritual didn't call for casualties, you see. It did. In one night, half of my friends, half of my colleagues, my peers, my brothers and sisters, gone in an instant, evaporated into thin air. All that was left was their bones. But he said that this was because what he had called was even more powerful than he had expected, see, and the magic he had to wrought was unexpectedly potent, and there were casualties, and I trusted him. I trusted him with the lives of my congregation. I trusted him with the lives of my fraternity, and I made a mistake.
So after he killed some people, you kept working with him.
He said that he could put it to right. What he called was supposed to elevate the human form. As long as there was anything left of my friends, he could bring them back.
Is there a piece of rope in this boathouse, I assume?
Yeah, probably like some like bungee, some rope, some yellow line.
Is there a rafter?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to town on his midsection just to knock him down, and then put a loop around his neck, throw it around the rafter, and hoist him up.
He gargles.
I hoist him off the ground until he stops twitching.
Michael,
Let him go.
I don't think we should.
Do you really think any court in the land's going to believe any of this that happened?
I don't know, but I don't want to be a part of a murder.
You're not.
Mike,
Yeah.
put him down. Just for now.
Okay, I drop him.
I figure he's got a lot to say, you know? Like, don't get me wrong.
What if we just
This
tie
turned out
him
pretty
to a
bad.
post? What if we just tie him to a post after and let Weird Thomas take care of it?
Give me a second. Thomas sort of limps forward as Roderick sputters and gargles and tries to turn into a shade that's not purple. And Thomas just kneels down in front of him, waits for his eyes to look up, and they just make eye contact for a long moment. And Roderick is stunned to silence beyond his choking coughs. And Thomas just nods his head and said, "He knows me. Look at him. He's terrified."
Did you help Jason choose Thomas as the first subject?
Help him. How is he? How is he here? How is he here? How is he walking? How is he speaking? How are you not all dead? How?
Oh, so there was someone who was supposed to die then.
What deal did you make with the subject? How are you alive? Please don't hurt me.
I'm sorry. Is that what you said to all of your servants and the people who lived on this island with you? Did you think about that for them?
Hang me, shoot me. Don't let him touch me.
Thomas?
Do you mean this? And he raises his charred black left hand, and Roderick flinches.
Please, we can just go. We don't need to be doing all this.
Not until I learn a little bit more.
Thomas, come on.
Edith,
Mike, we don't need to do this.
Why don't you and Rose go outside for a little bit? Make sure we have a clear path to get the boat launched.
Come on, Rose.
We're wasting time, everyone. Why don't we load him on the boat?
And then what do we do with him when we get to the mainland?
He's not.
I don't know. Dump him over the side, or turn him into the authorities, or send him on his merry way. I don't care.
What if I need
him
him
to be here for much longer?
What if I need him to find the wizard? He hired him once. Maybe he can find him again. And trust me, that hurts to say, because this sack of crap knows what was done to me. He's afraid, which means he's got something coming to him, but I need to find the guy behind this for real.
Mike, can we keep him from hurting anybody?
Well,
You got a bunch of rope.
temporarily, sure. I dislocate both his elbows.
Oh my goodness.
And Michael seems to have no qualms doing any of this. He's just completely cold.
Mike, one of the things you notice now is he's catatonic. Like, whereas before he was a sniveling little like worm who clearly hated pain and was offended by its very presence in his life. Now he's just staring at Thomas and babbling like a baby.
All right.
Maybe we could just tie him up, Mike. That's what I meant.
This keep from swimming away too. You can swim if you're still tied up.
Fair.
I like the idea. I like the idea of him drowning if he sets one foot wrong.
Of course, he's so fat he might be able to float pretty well anyway. But
Mike,
I can get
on the boat, please.
Sorry, Mike, continue.
Let's get him on the boat. We got to figure out a way. I can get him somewhere where he can still be questioned, but I obviously can't just take him through the middle of town. We can't just roll up on shore and have this guy who's been beaten pretty badly and knows what happened here.
Not to mention, I'm reasonably certain the odds are not zero that I'm a long-term missing person at that.
I wouldn't worry about the police spending too much time looking for you. No offense, but you're not a young student. You're at the bottom of their missing persons file. Sorry.
That's fair.
Can we get off the murder island?
Please.
Yeah. Make sure everybody has a life jacket. Make sure the boat has enough fuel.
It does. He's been preparing for this, probably not for days or anything like that, but pretty clearly he was getting ready to make way as soon as his home went up.
All right. Any other weapons beside this skeet gun that he has?
On his form, he is just in what you can tell from your experience pretty quickly when you kind of give him a real once over. This is a ritual robe, and it is stained to all hell. But he has nothing on him. Underneath the robe is just a basic like chinos and polo outfit.
in the boathouse, anything, harpoons or anything?
There's some fishing equipment, including, probably a pretty good filleting knife, some hooks, some nets, but a whole harpoon, no.
Flare gun?
There would be one in a basic safety kit for.
Make sure you have a flare gun with it, just because I know what we're doing. All right.
You guys get off and make way?
Yes.
All right. And you begin.
I give a big middle finger to the island as we go away.
Guys, did we just leave Odd Thomas on the island?
No, I assume he's in boat with us.
I've been saying
Thomas.
bad Thomas to differentiate because, regular Thomas is still pretty weird.
Okay, regular Thomas and bad Thomas. Did we leave bad Thomas on the island running around?
It literally, I'm not sure what it is, but it literally disappeared as soon as it passed the threshold of the house.
I don't think that water is going to be an impediment. I'm not convinced it's on the island. It could be anywhere.
Thin. It's thin. He's gone to the thin.
He's gone to the thin, everyone. You heard it here.
Is Thomas saying that, or is
No, that's your rockin' millionaire prisoner.
That's Ed Percy.
The thin, gone but not gone. Anything not on the island is gone but not gone.
So
does that mean we're gone but not gone?
As we're driving along in this boat with the roaring motor and the wind, we're gonna have this conversation like they always do in movies when you're in the helicopter about to go in, that you can still hear perfectly. So, Edith, Rose, man, you two got some bad drugs from Rory, and you've been on this really crazy trip. You've gone through some trauma. I can probably put you in contact with a psychiatrist to get you just to realize this was all just
Rose is going to walk away and go sit somewhere.
Rose is in a boat.
It's not that big of a boat.
We'll go anywhere she can get him out next to Mike. She's so upset with him.
She is going to pointedly turn her back.
This is a billionaire's boat. How big of a boat is it?
There's a front end and a back end. I will be on the opposite of Mike.
It's less a boat and more a dinghy.
It's called fore and aft.
Rose wouldn't know that.
The front part of the boat.
Would.
How dare you toss nauticalese at me at this time?
Mike?
No, you're other starboard.
Mike?
Yes.
Do you actually know a psychiatrist that can make this go away?
I believe I do know one. I can put you in touch with one who probably should be able to help you come to terms with all this and realize this was all part of a bad drug-induced psychosis.
Want their number.
Is that something you're interested in, Edith? Moving on from all of it then?
Well, I want the option.
You just let me know.
Thomas follows Rose to the back of the boat when she's trying to just get away. Hey, are you okay?
It's not a drug trip. I've never even taken more than an aspirin.
Of course you're right. You don't need me to tell you that.
I'm not going to just go back to school and pretend that none of this happened and be told every day that I just had a bad dream. That's insane.
You're 2/3 right. You gotta go back to whatever it is you do, school, your life, because you can't let all this take that from you. But you don't have to pretend it didn't happen. I don't think you should. Just because all this stuff out here, just because you don't know it exists doesn't mean it ain't real. It clearly found you. It'll do it again. I'm sorry if that's not comforting.
It's at least not telling me I'm crazy, which is what's going to happen.
You're not crazy. This kind of stuff drives people crazy. But where I differ, I think, with your companions is I think it's because you can either try to convince yourself it's not happening, and then it just plays with your brain. Some of that happened to me in captivity. I remember times where I wasn't myself, trying to convince myself that I was having some sort of bad dream, that the old man in the mist in my head wasn't real. I never felt crazier. Don't let anyone take the truth from you.
You're not going to kill that guy, are you?
I'm going to have to, but not for the reason you think. It's not about justice. It's not about murder. Listen, I need to ask you a favor that I don't really have any business asking, considering I'm about 2 mountains into debt to you and your friends. But I would hope that what you have done for me and my gratitude would make you believe me when I say something to you. Is that fair?
I'm listening.
I'm not a killer. I'm not a monster. They treated me like one, but that's not who I am. I can feel it in my bones. I'm just a person. I don't remember what kind of person. I don't remember anything about my life, but I'll figure it out. You have to trust that I wouldn't do anything unless I felt like I had a dang good reason. And this is coming from a guy who just punched a magical fireball spell that destroyed an entire building because he thought it would make it kill the corpse monsters. Might be reckless, but I'm brave.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
I need you. You're a good person, clearly. Everyone else is mad or hiding something or damaged. But you just want what's right. I just need you to trust me and stand by me when I need to do something that might be a little uncomfortable.
And if there's any other way, I'd ask that you tried it first.
I wish to God there was, but we'll see what happens. Just keep a close eye, okay? And have my back if I need it.
Yeah, okay.
He gets up to leave, but stops. One quick piece of advice, because I know you're going to need it. Everything that thinks it's bigger and meaner than you expects you to run. You stand up to it and face it just like you're doing right now, just like you're doing today. They'll hesitate, and you'll be able to defend yourself. They think you're prey and you're not. Just remember that.
Thanks.
You got it. Anyway, that's enough out of me. I'm going to go see if I can get what I want from Fatso back there and figure out what's next.
Okay.
And he just kind of like awkwardly waves and leaves.
We should decide who's driving the boat.
Start out as Michael's driving it.
I'm assuming it's Mike.
Because I think I'd be very confused attempting to.
Michael seems to know his way around boats. So.
Thomas comes back up after talking to Rose and just looks at Edith and Rari and sort of signals to them to come closer.
What did you tell her?
Nothing specifically. Just told her to make her own choices. If she decides she's crazy, then she's crazy. If she decides she's not, she's not. You don't control her truth.
She's not crazy.
No, neither
But
are
she
you.
might become that way if she gets mixed up in this.
I think you got it backwards, Edith. Are you crazy? I don't think so.
Rory?
Well, No, of course not. Edith is nothing remotely close to crazy.
That was
Regular
not
Tom. Or sorry, you got to be
Actually,
specific.
I don't know what answer I wanted from you. I feel crazy on a regular basis. My reality is split in two, and I don't like it.
I wouldn't if I were you either. I'm just saying, if you run from it, if you try to convince yourself that what's real isn't, well, that's a bad road to go down.
I'm not running from it. I am moving on.
I wasn't accusing you of running from anything. I was telling you that your friend over there is not going to be able to just bury your head in the sand and remain healthy and whole. But that's not what I came over here to talk to you about. She's not my business. Neither is your life. I need a favor.
Okay.
Mike, I got some pretty good information, but he basically broke that dude into his component pieces. It was pretty savage. And I scared the shit out of him. And I don't think that your friend Rose really has a mean bone in her body. So that leaves the two of you. I need you to talk to him a little bit more and get more information before we hit the mainland. This is our last chance to do it.
All right.
And what would you like to do when we get to the mainland?
I have a hunch. I might be right. Might be wrong. If I'm wrong, we come up with a new plan. You guys come up with a new plan. And if I'm right, I kill him.
Just like that.
It's not about moral calculus at this juncture.
Why do you think you need to? No judgment, per se. I don't mind. I don't know the fella. But what makes you think you need to?
Every day I spent on that island that I can remember that I was cognizant for was about hurting me, doing things to me on the name of research, right? Power. Look at that guy's notes. So I guess all I'm saying is I think it would be naive to assume that the money behind the throne, so to speak, behind everything that happened in that god-awful charnel house, didn't ever try to take any of that power for himself and isn't just looking to get back to shore where the rest of the world waits beyond.
So
You're
we can
looking
do
to
it
figure
again.
out if there's something else in him.
I'm pretty certain there is, but he knows things that we're not going to be able to learn from anyone else. And when he saw me, he clammed up tight.
All right. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. Sometimes killing someone with something in them just results in it going somewhere else. It depends on the kind of thing that you're killing. And again, no judgment, but we should determine precisely what we're dealing with first.
That's precisely why I want you to talk to him. I don't know what other information that you want out of him that he might have, and I leave you to it. But I would strongly argue for your first priority being figuring out what the hell happened back there.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to go up to Mike really quick and be like, hey, if I can get this guy to tell us anything more, seeing as you just beat him up, what information would you like me to good cop out of him?
I want to know who else was involved so we can find out if any of them are still alive on the mainland. That's my main objective.
All right.
While Edith's checking that out, this is a rich man's boat. I'm going to look for drinks.
And
You find him.
I'm also planning on as soon as I can see the mainland and make out details where I am, I'm gonna start going either north or south, trying to parallel the coast, trying to figure out and get a good idea of where exactly we are.
You're seeing land like in the distance. You're moving in the right direction, and you can't be more than 20 or 30 minutes of full speed, skipping across the water to.
What time of day is it?
At this point, it is very, 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 very late.
Okay.
Very dark, but it has been dark for such a long time that you've got to believe dawn is coming soon.
All right. I'm going to throttle back a little bit. I'm not interested in getting there. I'm not trying to, get there real soon. I just want to get close enough so I can start identifying landmarks, but from the, the lights and then parallel the coast.
Right on.
All right. I see Rory went over and found some alcohol, and I walk over and I'm like, "You're brilliant." And I grab the alcohol out of his hand, and I'm like, "Come with me." And we go over to
Do I see them grab the alcohol?
Percival.
Probably. It's a small boat.
What kind of alcohol do they have?
This dude has a whole bunch of whiskeys in there with all kinds of old, weird-looking labels, but it's pretty high-end.
Right, well, this is just delightful then.
So I take it and I kneel down next to Eddie, who is, I'm assuming he's still babbling.
Oh, yeah, he's catatonic.
All right. Sir,
Nothing.
I think we got on the wrong foot, and I would like to apologize for my violent reaction and my friend's even more physically violent reaction. We've had a terrible night. And I like lift up the alcohol to just give him a little bit of a sip.
Roll charm. Do you have a move on your sheet that could help with this? I thought you did.
I do, but it's not one that I picked.
You want to spend a luck to use it?
Yeah, sure. I've got it. Yep.
Okay. Mark it. Tell the crowd what it is.
All right. So basically my objective here is to nurse the guy into a little bit more of comfort. I don't have a ton of first aid training, but I do have some from, growing up and doing camping and stuff. So I can put his elbows back. Sorry, that hurt, but hopefully that's a little better. And there's probably some extra, I don't know, there's something soft, and I'll ball it up and give him something that's a little bit more cushy to lean against. And I hand the alcohol to Rory, and I'm like motioning him to pour it if he needs it, if he wants a glass of water. Actually, that's a great idea. Rory, go get a glass of water and see if there are crackers. And did you say why?
No, I said I.
Okay. Why? Rory, I'm doing a thing. Help me out.
As I get up, I do want to lean against Edith and be like, "You do whatever you're planning on. If you need me to do something else, it would be pretty damn obvious to everyone nearby. But I can step into another place where I could maybe get a better look at what might be in him. You just give me the word."
Thank you. Just crackers.
Just crackers.
Yes.
I look for crackers and water.
So yeah, you clearly saw what was going on back there, and it's horrifying and mind melting, and I don't think we're handling it well. But how did you get involved in this? Surely this isn't your fault.
He looks at you, and it's strange. You see him at first look at you like he's confused, and then a strange sort of clarity comes over his face, and he just relaxes. It seems like he's come back to himself very, very oddly, very, very suddenly. Like your presence somehow snapped the hold of total panic.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted better. Just wanted better.
Of course. We all do. Who did you want it better for?
You can't accomplish anything like what we were trying to alone. So, of course, I was going to drag others behind me, but I wanted it for myself. I truly believed what I was told. I truly believed that thing we ripped out of the darkness, going to create a world where people like you and me, just regular people, had nothing to fear from everything that skulks in the shadows. I was married once, you know. My beautiful wife, my beautiful Mary. She taught a class on the mainland, something with sewing or knitting. And one night she didn't come home. She was found 2 weeks later, a desiccated corpse, drained dry of everything that gives life. I didn't want to live in a world where I could just be made a victim like that. I just wanted to change it. I'm sorry, young lady.
It's okay. I'm sure you meant to make everything better. Who were your friends who were helping you? Did they also want to make things better?
They had a variety of motives. I'm sure most of them were greedy. I'm fairly sure some of my old banking associates just wanted immortality. But we couldn't do it alone. Not a lick of magical talent among us, just the resources, just the spells, you see, the rituals, the books. It always comes back to the books. I could attain them. I could prepare a site. I had the privacy. I had the ability to tap into a ley line without anybody noticing, but I needed professionals. That was my mistake.
So you hired more than just Jason?
No, Jason brought along friends, associates, people he had met, he said, here or there. He felt to me like a kindred spirit when we discussed my aims, when we discussed the magic. He articulated to me that he too wanted to see the world remade, that he too wanted to free humanity from its position as prey on this totem pole. I don't know if he was telling the truth or if he was just a good liar, but I sure feel deceived.
I'm so sorry.
We pulled it
Where?
free.
You
in
pulled
my
it.
yard on the side of my house. We conducted the ritual. We pulled it free. And do you know what happened, young lady?
No.
Absolutely nothing. My promised God, my promised demon, my promised angel was impotent, small, useless. I was convinced that the wizard had made a mistake. I was furious. My friends, my associates had given their lives for that. But then he had a new proposition. He proposed that if we incubated it in something stronger, let its power develop in a richer magical environment, I believe he said, we could possibly salvage the whole thing.
And so you did?
I found a boy no one would miss. It didn't feel wrong at the time, young lady, because we were going to make him into something more than a man, you see. We were going to make him into a god. So we found him, we took him. We tried the summoning again, ripped something else out and put it in the boy. Something for it to feed on, to grow strong off of.
Your tiny god? Thomas's food?
He was the plate. The plate. And it worked. The tiny god, as you put it, the little one grew in strength. And the wizard, see, he had a plan. He just needed my resources, just needed me to trust him. He pulled pieces of it out of the boy and started putting them in other people. As they grew strong enough to sustain themselves, you see, these pieces, these replications.
Are all those pieces on the island with you?
Oh, you see, young lady, I thought so. But your presence articulates something different. I think the wizard took samples off our shores. You never stop to ask yourselves why you found yourself in my haunted mansion, the graveyard of my mistakes.
We were a little busy, but now I am.
He put it in you, didn't he? The tiny god. You came to the island to ascend like the rest of us.
No, we didn't. We were brought to the island because people like you look at other people as resources to take and bring.
Not a single individual introduced to our glorious test tube divine being ever resisted. They flocked to our shores. I just didn't know he had gone for another batch. It would explain why you didn't descend into madness like the rest of them. You were just late to the party.
So we don't have the full.
Oh, I have no idea, young lady. I have no idea whether you're clean or infected. You see, I wanted to join my people in an embrace with a divine being to elevate all of mankind. But the wizard just saw a way to invent a supernatural plague, an occult pathogen. You saw what he did on the island. You saw what he did to my people. That's not ascension, young lady. That's massacre. That's pogrom. That's slaughter.
Yeah, it sucks when it's your own people, huh? I'm sorry.
You're right. I don't know why I've not been able to see it until precisely this moment, but you're right. I feel most badly for the boy. We took everything from him. I thought we were doing it to make it better, and now God knows what he is, or how much of what he was remains.
Would you like to help make things right?
Oh, of course I would, young lady.
How do we find the rest of the pathogen?
If anything else escaped onto the mainland, it would be because it was brought, as it was probably brought to you. Jason's impossible to find unless he wants to be found. But his associates wouldn't have had word of what happened on my island today. They won't be in the wind yet, you see, would be my guess.
Okay.
Find them, find their research, get answers from them. If you care to carry this business forward any further than you have, that'd be what I would do. You're a brave young lady, you know that?
Yes.
Funny thing about power, you'll develop it. I know you will, just by looking at you. You've already got some in your pocket. There will be more coming. Powerful friends, powerful knowledge.
I don't need any of that.
And that's why you won't break the world pursuing more of it. I'm sorry for what I've done. I'm sorry for what I did to you. I'm sorry for what I did to the boy. I might not have been in the driver's seat like I thought I was. But I'm to blame. I gave a madman the keys to the kingdom. And instead of trying to explore it, he tried to burn it down with disease and pestilence.
What do you think we should do with you?
Tell me, young lady, how close are you to shore? How close is it to dawn?
I don't know. Mike, how close are we to shore?
You're close.
We're close.
Well, I think what you should do is I think you should run this boat aground and get off of it as fast as you can, and then kill whatever I become when the sun rises.
I'm sorry. What? Can we just kill you now?
I'll come back.
Guys, we have a problem.
Yes, I was listening in on literally everything.
Yep.
What kind of problem?
Thomas, how good is your hand doing? And Mike, do we have any more? Did we grab the
shotgun?
So-
Yes.
Eddie here is very sorry for what he has done. We had a fabulous chat, and he's going to become something super fun
I knew it.
at dawn.
At dawn?
I knew it. He wasn't just trying to leave the island. He was trying to smuggle whatever happened on it off of it. How did you get him to admit it?
Is there a cell phone that I can see anywhere around? Everybody look for a cell phone in this boat.
If you want to look in what the equivalent of the glove box is, you do find one.
All right. Can I unlock it? I ask Eddie where the passcode is.
He just gives it to you. He just appears resigned.
I'm going to try to deal with the agency. See if I can get some resources.
The agency?
Ooh, I got a 9, which means things aren't so good. So I can get something I want, but they're blowback.
Cool.
I'm gonna try to make a call.
Okay. Familiar voice answers. Hello?
It's Michael. I don't have a lot of time to explain.
Where have you been?
On an island full of undead demons of some sort, or I'm not exactly sure what. Most of the problem is solved, but we have one loose end, which is about to get much worse when the sun rises. is it possible to get a team down at the shore? Do I know where I am yet?
I
Probably.
would say that you can probably tell that you're heading straight for one of the commercial beaches. It's early enough in the morning that there probably aren't a lot of people. Not a lot of tourists. So as isolated as it gets, really.
I'm going to be grounding a boat near Onslow Beach, and something bad is about to come out of this boat. If there's any way you can get a team down here quickly, or just get me some support.
Michael, you sure you're not drinking?
I wish I were.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure how fast we can scramble anything, though.
Ask them to bring a helicopter. Aren't those really fast?
Something that they don't have a helicopter. Something that could, at least help deal with the blowback from whenever law enforcement and anyone else shows up. That would be great.
That I can do. I can frustrate the mundane response, but Mike, if your time is that short, you're on your own.
All right, Rory, what kind of what's the strongest liquor we have in that cabinet? Rory,
I mean, they got a lot of it.
We got any 151?
Oh yeah.
Douse them whatever is flammable.
Seems such a shame.
I know, but and Edith, see if you can rig
Sorry,
up,
pal. I do believe that you are,
the fuel tank. See if you can get them doused with fuel too. Get the flare gun ready.
All right.
Eddie, have you been baptized?
I don't rightly remember.
Do you accept Christ as your Savior?
Why not?
That's not really a great answer. I did what I can do. I'm not a priest. I'm going as fast as I can to the shore.
This again.
That was an admirable try. This dude knows something bad's coming and does not care.
So, have we reached the beach yet?
You can get there without incident. What do you do?
Buckle up. I'm going to go into this. I'm going to the beach full bore, get as high, on far off the water as we can.
I am going to sit down next to Edith, and I'm going to say for what feels like the 1,000th time to me, this could be easier.
You know what, Rory? Now is not a good moment.
It's never a good moment.
Nope.
Thomas walks over to Rose, grabs a boat rail with his healthy arm and says, "This is going to get very, very bumpy. Just hold on to me until the shaking stops so you don't go overboard, okay?"
Got it.
I do my best to keep the boat parallel to the surf zone. I was perpendicular to the surf zone.
And you hit, and it is loud, and it is jarring, and you for a moment feel like you just might become those storm-tossed pieces in a crash. But y'all prepared. You saw it coming, and you see the crash through the end. You are grounded on the beach, and the boat is out of the water. Like, you got all the way up there. That's a lot of speed. You're lucky it didn't flip.
What do we do next, Mike?
Everybody out of the boat. I grab the flare gun, make sure it's ready.
Thomas just picks up Rose and jumps out of the boat to get out of there as soon as possible. Sorry about this.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Do we have all the documents?
Yes.
I got mine.
I'm waiting for the sun to rise. Just keeping I'm on the very tip of the bow. As soon as he changes, I'm gonna launch a flare at him and jump off the boat.
And
Rose, do you want to come away with me?
I don't know how to be helpful here.
I just take her to some place where she's not gonna see this boat burning with a person who's a terrible person, awful, deserves everything he's gonna get right now, but Rose doesn't need that in her eyeballs.
You really don't.
Oi, Ed.
Ed,
I don't know. You
Rory's talking to you.
Yep. I'm listening.
you got anyone you would want something said to?
Everybody I ever cared about died on my estate
That's right, sad.
for a dream. Can I give you one last piece of advice?
Oh shoot! Never deny a dying man his last wish.
I would go the extra mile to make sure that you're not still carrying anything from the island with you. Make sure he got it all out of you, or something bad is in your future.
Rory didn't think about that until this moment. Takes in a long inhale and just has his book out. Not the big bad book, the normal bad book.
Dawn crests over the horizon, and at the first hint of the sun's rays on his face, Edgar Roderick begins to twitch. The twitches start getting violent very rapidly. Do you shoot him?
I want to wait to see what he transforms, at least it starts to transform.
Oh, that's got to be.
He's gonna come back if you shoot him.
The twitches start turning into his body, literally resetting itself.
I shoot him.
Yeah.
I shoot.
Yeah. And the boat goes up in a huge inferno, just instant eyebrow searing off of your face heat, the stronger than expected pressure waves, harsher than expected heat on all your faces, because 151 is potent and so is gasoline, and all of a sudden you have a crazy boat bonfire on the beach. And you wait.
Yeah, we walk up towards and as people start going up, we all, yeah, did you see that? Holy cow! Wow, boat just drove up on the shore and caught fire. It's weird.
There's like a couple of joggers and beach campers who are like, wow, that is interesting. And then 1 second, there's one roll.
I actually got a 10 in my roll, not a 9.
Oh, that's fine. Unfortunately, you hear a shriek, a loud, high-pitched shriek that chills the marrow in your bones erupt from the fire. And it is strong enough and inhuman enough and horrifying enough that the tourists, the lollygaggers, they just go running. Fight or flight takes over, and they begin to sprint as fast as they can away from this situation. You look back to the bonfire, and you see what can best be described as a half-melted humanoid thing begin to drag itself bodily from the wreckage, just every inch on fire.
I see this,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a bit, as probably as horrified as most of us are, but I take one look at it and I say, bad luck, pal. I ain't indoors anymore. And with none of the effort that I normally apply to doing unusual magic things, I reach out towards the fire, and it much more intensely bears down upon that form.
Roll weird.
9 total.
The fire presses down on the thing, almost like you've suddenly created this Iron Maiden of Inferno, just bearing down, and you see that all of a sudden it's not become something that it's sort of vaguely thriving on, that it's drawing power from, but it's hurting it. And it starts to writhe and thrash, but it's not slowing down, and it's crawling out of the wreckage of the boat and trying to come after y'all. Anyone else want to do something? Rari's occupied.
I'm gonna run out and swing the axe.
Just axe attack.
Yeah.
Roll kick some ass. Tough.
That's a 12
Not
Ooh.
bad.
with modifiers.
Not bad. You whack a big, meaty chunk of something off of this thing, and knock it off into the surf like you're swinging a freaking golf club and it's a golf ball. The heat of getting that close, the heat from all that fire swinging that axe, it burns your hands a little bit, but you're able to back off before you suffer any real permanent or serious damage. And the thing is now almost free of the wreckage and is starting to stand up, a giant, flaming, hulking humanoid thing. Edith, your turn.
Well, all I have is my chair leg, and that is probably not going to be useful, but you know what? I'm just going to run at it and hope there's like a nail in there somewhere, and maybe I can hit his head, because gosh darn it, that thing cannot actually get off the beach. Nope.
Roll for tough.
Ooh, I rolled an 11.
Okay.
I'm very motivated right now.
So you get off a really athletic, really powerful, really angry swing, and it catches the thing upside where you can really best estimate its head would be, this horrific molten creature, and it gets its attention and it turns to you, but it won't attack you. It's almost like it recognizes you.
Aww. Dang it.
Hi.
It's just staring, twitching, but sparks, gobs of fire, molten globs of skin are being flung every which way. This thing is a danger to itself as much as anything else that it might be around.
Cool.
Tommy!
So if I just keep it looking at me for just a second, it'll just fizzle.
And back
I
with
can keep its attention?
Thomas and Rose. Thomas looks at Rose.
Yeah.
You remember how I asked you that I need you to do something brave for me and that you need to trust me?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to help me get really, really close to that thing. I'm hurt. I'm having a hard time moving.
Okay, let's go. I can help with that.
Thank you. It's gonna be hot. It might hurt. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Let's just do it. And she'll like kind of loop her arm around him and help him.
Roll tough.
That's really not a thing I'm built for.
It's okay.
Okay. This could have gone much worse. It's 7. We're a 7.
You help him by bearing his weight and just move him forward. You're the engine of his progress. You're what's allowing him to make forward momentum on a body that is still very, very battered. You get him as close as you can. You feel the heat coming off of this thing. Just, it hurts. You can feel it lick your skin. You can feel your hair starting to crisp up and smell. But you're tough and you're brave and you made a promise and you move him close. And he grabs the thing by the throat with his blackened arm. And immediately there's a reaction. It seizes violently. The very fire itself changes color to the sickish, greenish black flame you saw from the spell that obliterated the manor. The creature starts making that horrific shrieking sound again. It starts seizing, but it's not going down. And Thomas looks at the rest of you like, hit it again.
I swing away.
Yeah, that's insane.
Rari, what do you do?
As I'm still maintaining what I was doing, I would like to bust out the book, and I want to try and command this thing to get more brittle where Thomas is grabbing him.
Oh, right on. Roll weird, real quick. Rari, roll weird, and Mike, roll tough.
I got another 12, unnatural, but
There you go.
Almost as high as I can roll, 14.
Rari says magic words in a foreign tongue, and his fingers dance on the sigils and gifs on the page before intricate gestures aim this crystalline thread of air right directly where the space between Thomas's fingers and thumb are. And it hits the creature, and almost like glass, it shatters, it cracks, it spider webs. It stops shrieking and starts seizing more violently. And Thomas lets go right as Mike swings. And in the act of taking this thing's head clean off its shoulders, the body just shatters and the head flies into the surf where it is quickly carried out to sea. A molten, destroyed orb that used to be a skull.
Did we just poison the ocean?
No more than BP.
the solution to pollution is dilution. Let's get up, wait for our ride.
Sorry. No more than BP.
If you've ever dove in the ocean, there's all kinds of stuff in there you don't
Yep,
want to know
no,
about.
it's true. But none of them are an interdimensional parasite accidentally bought by a rich millionaire who thought he could become God with his
Well,
money.
let's just go wait for our ride.
If you keep looking at sort of the shattered, calcified remains of what used to be whatever that used to be, you quickly see a writhing thing, like a writhing hunk of flesh that before your eyes turns to the same sort of black and calcified state as the rest of the remains, and then starts blowing away in pieces with the wind.
Well, this was a night that I would never like to repeat.
Agreed.
Oh, shite. Really quickly, Rory reaches up and he's just going to like wipe his hand to get rid of the fire and run back up into the boat to see if any of the alcohol made it.
You know what? As you are somehow liberating a metallic bottle, because they package it sometimes, of, let's say, a Irish cream of some variety, a van speeds up across the road directly above the beach. And as it sees you, it screeches to a halt, laying rubber the entire way. And a man calls out from the driver's seat and calls out to Mike and shouts, "Mike, they're on their way. I'm 2 minutes in front of the sirens, man. We got to go now."
Come on, everybody, let's go. I'll help Thomas if he needs it.
Absolutely.
You help each other bundle into this white double-paneled van.
I think it's probably a nun driving it, and the van's labeled Catholic Charities.
Yeah, there's
It's a woman dressed as a nun.
there's a dude driving it, and he's got a collar on, and there's a nun in the back, and she immediately starts seeing to your burns and your wounds, and you just stare at each other, shell-shocked. You have no idea where you're going. You're grateful that the police won't be at the other end as far as you know. And as you try to calm down and process what's just happened to you over the last 12 or 13 hours, regain some sense of center and peace, you remember that the person who financed this, who dreamed it up in his delusions, he died on that beach. But the people who made it happen, they're still out there. They're in and around your city. You're the only ones who know about them, and you need to decide what happens next. And with that, the pilot two-parter ends.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oof.
We usually go around and do a quick discussion of what we're working on. We're kind of late, so everybody, super quick if you have any announcements. And the main announcement is we will be back next Tuesday. If you had fun with this, tune in, bring your friends. You can catch, if you only caught part of it, there's recordings on Facebook and YouTube. Just search
And
up Twenty
Twitch.
Pros.
Yeah, we got archive. We got them. We got them all over the place. All the
Yep.
stuff.
Elle, you got a quick pitch?
Okay, well, if you guys really liked our stuff and you want to find any of our merch, we do have a website available. Just know that if you followed us here from our last stream, the Heroes of the Realm, if there's any merchandise you love from Heroes of the Realm, you should go get it because it's going to be going away for a little while we transition shops. You probably got about 2 weeks left to do that before that's, oh my God, gone until we bring it back. But that's all I really have. That's what I got.
Dan/Rory.
If everybody out there likes dark magic shenanigans, I invite you to check out the Mage the Ascension podcast, Ombligo del Diablo, which I will put a link for in the chat.
It's already in your bio. People just got to click your bio.
Okay, that one too. I'm gonna do both because I want to. It is Mage the Ascension actual play podcast. We got a lot of it out, and we should have more episodes upcoming. Good stuff to come, guys. It's real spooky.
Bill?
My first love is Dungeons and Dragons, and even though I love this game, and I've just started my own company. Still in the process of getting artwork. It's within a month. I hope to have something for sale. So
Awesome.
keep tuned for that.
Can't wait to promote that.
Well, I think that's about it. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Looking forward to it. Until then,
It has begun.
Ooh, it's
don't
so
get
exciting.
sick with interdimensional germs of any kind. Stay healthy and warm out there, guys.
Please don't turn into zombie creatures. I won't know what to do with you.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.